Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. With that, yes, should be live. Yes. So, greetings and welcome. I am Joffrey, and today I'm going to be discussing the revolution mechanics in EU5, which, let's be honest, who's to say how many of us will actually reach this stage of EU5? Because it is very, very late indeed. I have only ever reached the revolution stage of EU4 a single time, ever, in all of my thousands of hours, which it hurts to say. Uh, Both the fact that I have thousands of hours and the fact that I've never reached that stage more than once. Ah! You're not dealing with an achievement hunter here, is all I can say. No, it's the revolution. Yes, it's the most relevant mechanic for the late game. It's the focus of the last age of the game. Late, late. I don't know. Can you say that I'm late, aim, if you did not message? If you did not send the late message before I started, am I truly late? I don't think so. What proof do you have that I'm late? None. None. The revolution is a disaster that can happen to any settled country that is a great power. So it has to be a great power country. They can't just be okay countries that are very absolute. That's pretty interesting, actually. I assumed it would happen to really anyone, but it needs to be someone of great importance. Okay? They need to have embraced the Enlightenment institution with an average literacy higher than 50%, and whose peasant estate satisfaction is low, or whose peasant or burgher estates are taxed heavily. So even if they're happy, but they're taxed heavily, they'll still potentially do it. The size of the revolution will depend on factors such as stability, absolutism, literacy, and discontent. Fair enough. It is very interesting. Both of the facts, the two key facts that I'm taking note of here is the fact that, well, okay, the literacy being higher than 50%. I think that's a lower amount than it used to be. I think it used to be like 70%, or maybe that was just for a different disaster that they mentioned last week. But the fact that it needs to be a great power, so it's going to affect someone that's actually important, and it is also going to be able to happen if you tax the estates heavily, even if they're happy. Here for 30 minutes, you had the tab open, the teacher tells you off for being late when you arrive to class. Well, is the teacher not supposed to send out an email for absences? I think they should. But yes, yes. Hello, greetings to you as well, Abe. Uh, Insurrection in Paris, yes. King Philippe, yes, desperately seeking resolutions to ever-increasing problems as our country finds itself at the mercy of the increasingly ambitious bourgeoisie supported by the outraged peasants. So this is a case of, yes, you have to wait. You tap your ruler against your hand for a certain amount of time after class has started, and yes, once it's been long enough, then you say, oh yes, yes, okay, they're absent today. Let's mark it down and send off the email. Dire times are ahead of us. It's approximately 11,000. Wait, no, that's what? 1,100,000? 1,100,000 of our pops across 8 provinces will join. Yeah, 1,100,000 pops. It's just weird seeing it be like, 1,109,000. Wait, what? Huh? Should do a bit of a double take there. Across 8 provinces will join the cause of French revolutionaries. Yes. The revolution is a unique transformation of the society of a country during the age of revolutions. States which go through the revolution and fail to defend their absolute state might become a revolutionary republic. Granting them access to some powerful actions, reforms, and laws at the cost of becoming a potential target of non-revolutionary states. I did hear that yeah, some folks who have actual access to the game claim that being absolute seems like it just isn't very strong. So you almost always are just going to want to become uh, a revolutionary or just choose to be liberal from the get-go and never even have it. These upstarts their place. Oh, and you can choose to swap to play as them. Yeah. We fight for the people. French Revolution featuring a short man. Now that is fake. Napoleon was not short. He was not a small man. At least I don't think he was. I don't know. I remember hearing somewhere that he supposedly wasn't actually short and it was just propaganda. So like in Vic 3, absolute is bad for the economy. Well, being absolute in Vic 3 doesn't actually hurt the economy in any way. Um, like as in like being a monarchy and it being autocratic. Um, being an autocrat and being a monarchy do not make the economy worse in Vic 3. Um, but yeah, it can be harder, I guess, to get the industrialists in power that way. Yeah. I thought I heard something behind me. Weird. Guess it was probably nothing. Door moved on its own. Weird stuff. Must have been the wind. There be a small human. Ah, yes, your chair is crap, and therefore your back is, yeah. Oh, hmm. Yeah. Uh, this chair squeaks a lot, but it's pretty good, all things considered. So I think I'm good in that department for the moment, at least. Though I really do want to get a proper gamer chair at some point. Um, but yeah, guess you should try and get yourself a better chair. Oh, back injury. Like, did you get a hernia from lifting too much stuff or something? Hope not. I've got an in-person friend who is a herniated disc. Mm. If you continue playing as the revolutionaries, you'll have to fight and win the Civil War to succeed. Well, if you keep playing as the regular country, you'll have this disaster ongoing. King of France gets so big penalty to stability over the course of this revolution, and pops do not want to leave rebels. Okay. And you lose it if you either are revolutionary or you end the Civil War. So yeah, just win. You yeah, you fell on your back 5 years ago. I mean, by now I'm sure you would have known if you damaged something permanently like that. Oh my gosh. You cannot read this military strength thing at all. It just says default over it. That is that is painful to even look at. The text overlapping with numbers. And each month there's a 1% chance of clashing authority happening. I hope they show us what clashing authority means. Hmm. If the revolutionaries win, you'll consolidate as a revolutionary state. While still being a great power, it will lead to a situation. Rise of the French revolutionary state. With the victory of our revolutionary forces, the old government is no more. Whatever semblance of unity and protection it once provided is a long gone memory, while its horrors and mismanagement over the French people still linger to this day. Under the elected rulership of Michel Laurent, the newly forged revolutionary republic of France shall bring prosperity, dissolve the ancient shackles which bound the bourgeoisie to their masters, and shall make the old world order tremble. Yes, long live the revolution. Yes, yes. What? 36 and 62. 64. Oh. I won't even want to look at that, but yeah, okay. Oh, my eyes. But yes, I suppose it is, yeah, that's just the balance of power. But if it's 36 and 64, then that means which side? I don't even know which side is which. It's not stating which side each of these is, so I don't even know which one it's saying is stronger than the other. But I guess the revolution was stronger in this case. Average day in Paris, French Revolution still going on. Right. Just long live the revolution. Gain 2.5 stab and 5 Republican tradition. You get constitutional state government reform and constitutional parliament. Well, again, I hope they show us the stats on those, but I kind of doubt that they will. And spread the ideals of revolution. During the People's Uprising situation, nearly every monarchy will have their rule challenged by the people and those oppressed by the feudal status quo. Countries that follow the revolution will be able to assist their comrades at home and abroad through unique actions. Countries that seek to crush it will be able to do so either through the Crush the Revolution CB and new actions. We will gain access to various new actions such as institute governmental purges and demote local aristocracy. And more through the situation panel. So, yes, it creates. So if a revolution wins, then this happens? The situation starts? The great power that triggers the revolution will be its herald. Okay, so the first, so if someone loses the revolution, then that means that they'll become, yeah, the herald of the revolution, and this situation will start. Good things come from the revolution, like head choppy, the head choppy 3000, the guillotine. Yes, the best thing to come out of the French Revolution is the head choppy 3000, of course. Swing, swing. They had to get very efficient at lopping off people's heads after all. Right. We will defend our ideals. For as long as we remain the revolutionary target, we'll maintain the benefits of being revolutionary, as well as 10% more manpower, 10% more morale, and lower maximum war exhaustion. That is very nice indeed. I forgot that they had a modifier for maximum war exhaustion, but they've shown it before. I think it's something that's tied especially to being religious or perhaps communal. I'm not certain, but yes. Of course, communal. the lobters will have to be a very communal. The lobters will definitely need to have a natural drift towards communal societal value. Yes, yes. Lobster. There will be some people who have no idea what I'm talking about and will be extremely confused, and that brings me joy. People's uprising. Yeah, so that's the situation, and then yeah, person on the left is shown as the ruler of the country. That is the revolutionary herald. Whoa, the revolution, the people's uprising starting in 1337. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. And it ends if no great powers are revolutionary and no country currently is in the revolution disaster. Okay. So theoretically, the people's uprising could last for the entire rest of the game if uh, no one ends the revolutionary target. That's interesting to think about. Institute governmental purges. Demote local aristocracy. Where's the button for just chopping off a bunch of heads? Suppress foreign revolutionaries, assist foreign revolutionaries, elevate local aristocracy, demote it, re-establish the parliament, spread revolutionary sentiment. But where's the button for choppy choppy? This is very sad. Hints. Across the political landscape, it appears that many monarchs have lost their heads in the pursuit of squashing the revolutionaries. Antoine de Nemours. Nemours. Okay. So, become revolutionary by siding with the revolution. This is a triple up. The revolutionary disaster. The situation enables two unique peace treaties for reinstate the monarch. Reinstate the monarchy or force revolution. So yeah, the revolutionary tags can force other people to become revolutionary, and the monarchies can reinstate the monarchies. That's interesting. Yeah, okay. And the situation offers access to new actions such as suppressing foreign revolutionaries and assisting them. I don't know what those buttons would do realistically, but it's interesting nonetheless. And the strongest revolutionary country can claim to be the revolutionary target. So the first great power that is revolutionary gets it, but then if another great power becomes revolutionary that is stronger, they could potentially yoink the title. Yeah, I suppose yeah, a new chair. The price of that would depend a lot. Yeah. Depends a lot on what kind of chair you're looking for, I guess. But also, yeah, where you're from, the prices would be very different, I imagine. Huh. Big yawn. Right. Attempt to snuff out the revolution. To institute government purges. Or once you are revolutionary, spread and fund similarly minded rebels to foreign countries. Well, yeah, no wonder it's hurts your back if you're just sitting on a plank of wood all the time while you're working away. Yeesh. Like at the very least, you could put a blanket on it or something. Hmm. Just like a steel. So a revolutionary rebel movement will be triggered in Castile. However, one already exists will bolster its progress and strength instead. Okay, so this is kind of a domino effect of yeah, the more people become revolutionary, the more people there are spreading support for revolutions across the world, and then it just increases the power of every new revolt. And then yeah, revolutionaries gain progress, and then Approximately none will join? Okay, well that's weird, but yeah, the notion's still there. I'm sure they'll sort that out and make it properly work. Monarchies can fight revolutionaries through the Crust Revolution CB or the War Against the Revolutionary Country event, which rallies allied monarchies to join the fight. So this is how you get the coalitions to join smack down Napoleon. If the revolutionary target is at peace, the monarchy that received the War Against the country event will start a new war. Alternatively, if the revolutionary target is already defending against another monarchy using the same CB, the monarchy country that receives this event and their allies will join the existing war. Huh? Already defending against another monarchy using the same CB, the monarchy country that receives this event. Okay, so if yeah. So there can be a situation then where you get like, France gets the revolution. So France gets the revolution, then Spain declares war on France to snuff out the revolution, and then England gets the event, war against insert country, as in France. And then that event will just cause England and their allies to join the war as well, which, yeah, I can see how this, oh, Andorra. What? Andorra, Papal States, and Bohemia? Who on earth is this? Who is this person? Who is the person that's the target of this? It's over for France. Andorra has joined the war. Yeah. So, yeah, it's Castilian, I guess. I don't know. But the point is that yeah, okay, somewhat, there's somehow a country, maybe Castile, who is allied to Andorra, the Pope, and Bohemia. The Great Alliance to stomp out the French. The Papal States, Andorra, and Bohemia. I mean, Bohemia's a real chonker, but yeah. I will definitely need to try pulling off an Andorra run. I want to make that work. I want to just see the name Andorra spread across Europe. I don't know what culture Andorra is, though. Whether it's Catalan, Aragonese, or what have you, but I'm curious. Revolutionary chaos. Oh no. Revolutionary countries may also experience a unique disaster, revolutionary chaos. This disaster may occur in a revolutionary country whose stability and republican values have eroded significantly. Oh no. So this is where the choppy choppy 3000 happens. Oh, oh no. Just one of these. We are a revolutionary autocracy. We are a revolutionary empire. Oh, so you can become a revolutionary empire or autocracy? Jeez. So you can do a Napoleon and be considered a revolutionary but still be an empire. So like revolutionary empire theoretically then is like this person rules for life and then you elect a new person and you become a republic again? I don't know. Andorran expeditionary force totaling 10 shepherds have begun to march on Paris. Yes, yes. Terrifying, terrifying in truth. I don't know how they could be stopped. Oh, oh, you end the revolutionary chaos by either becoming no longer revolutionary, a revolutionary autocracy, an empire, or have had the disaster for 10 years. So, yeah, okay. You can potentially have a strong man pull you out of the disaster is the point. Yeah, it's interesting. I do like the context of the possible each month, or like every month there's a potential like no outcome or percentage chance of insert these things happen. That's going to be very interesting. The counter revolution of France, the reign of terror in France. Yes. Yeah, I'm sure you wish you had a strong man to pull you out of things, dude. Line, yes. Yes. So being in revolutionary chaos gives the revolutionary French Republic minus zero point 0.2 Republican tradition per month. So that definitely does not help because you already get the event by being in low Republican tradition. Hmm. Chaos and revolutionary French Republic. The revolution must prevail or take a more conservative approach. Okay. Side with the revolution, enabling events about opposing the monarchistic movement. Sided with the revolution till the end of the game. Lose more stability and move even further towards plutocracy. Napoleon Bonaparte. Why does he look like such a nerd? What? Why is he such a nerd? Yes, French Revolution featuring Head Choppy 3000. Yes. So there's the first disaster RCM, which is the actual revolution itself, and then once the revolution has finished, like it's actually happened, then there's a chance that the revolutionary chaos will happen if a revolutionary country gets into low stability or that's low republican tradition, and then that will start the Head Choppy 3000. So and then I guess if you're playing as France, there's a chance that Napoleon will show up. Let us witness his achievements. He is Corsican and triple hundreds. He is a Corsican Lutheran with 100 in each. Um, I don't know what to say. I was having a conversation with a friend earlier saying that it sounds dumb to like put characters like this to be scripted to show up. But here he is. I need to message him. He's literally 100 stat man. And I can only guess what these other traits mean. You should have 125 mil. That's something I'm curious about, dude. Line. Honestly, I wonder if it's possible to jack stats up above the normal limits. Because if it's possible, I fully intend to make certain scripted characters for my mod be above the normal stat caps. Because I mean, they're literally built different. Like they just shouldn't be bound by normal limitations. But it's gonna definitely take a lot of work for me to look around in the like the code of EU5 and see how it deals with character stat generation. I'm trying to see if I can yoink Nemcraft. Oh, he's in class. Damn. All right. Okay. Oh, I bit my lip. No, my poor lip. I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding. Right. But yeah, obviously this is something to do with the leadership abilities. This is something to do with like being a tactician. This is being a conqueror, and this is something to do with being an aggressive attacker, perhaps, because it looks almost exactly like the aggressive attacker thing from CK3. You, you have a request for the muffin dwarves. Well, so the Muffin Dwarves RCM are a free city, so they're not going to be ruled by like a single long living character. I mean, unless you could, I mean, with all that you do for the project, I'm sure you could very easily convince me to change them to be an autocratic realm if you really want them to be ruled by one guy for most of the game. But yes. What's the origin of the name Muffin Dwarves? They're not called the Muffin Dwarves. They just are Muffin Dwarves. They live in a city that's like called Krunglemuffin or some such thing. It's something like that. And it was just a funny name that I thought of at some point while talking to someone, and then it just ended up being that those dwarves really like making muffins. They're huge bakers. Yeah. Dwarves in my setting are very strange. They all the one thing that is consistent among all dwarves is that they're autistic, really, realistically. They have weird fixations with random things, and that's it makes them adorable. The Reign of Terror in France. Yes. And you want your character to be rare. Oh, you want to make like essentially a dev character for yourself that is a muffin dwarf and that they'd be rare. Interesting, interesting. Right. But yeah, Robespierre can show up as well, of course, and execute the enemies of the revolution. Every country that is not France will have a slim chance to spawn characters inspired by Napoleon, Robespierre, etc. during this disaster. But yeah, for France it will be these characters. So there's a chance that yeah, that there's a slim chance that you'll have some dude. Yeah, you'll get like Cromwell spawning in England, I guess. Uh, Napoleon's from which I guess okay, now that I think about it, Cromwell really is kind of Napoleon from Wish, isn't he? Uh, that's all for today. From my end, it will be the last Tinto talk up until release. Oh, is this Pavia? Last one from Pavia up until release. Though I still have some more pending Tinto flavor posts next week. Yeah, next Wednesday. So that's like yeah, okay. On the onboarding systems of the game for that new dev diary about diplomacy and influence. Huh? Okay. And on Friday we'll have a Tinto talks about Austria. Yeah. Hello, Rai. Don't mind me holding my lip. I bit my lip and it's bleeding, so I must hold it. It is. And yes, RCM, we can discuss Muffrin the Baker another time. Not during the Tinto talks, but we can discuss that later. Right. Um, let's see. I'll do a short skim through the dev responses here, but after doing a short skim through here, we can look at like the Netherlands one because I did miss the Netherlands Tinto flavor. Those things aren't especially long, but it's worth going over anyway. Uh, you split from nation, like in the event here, you keep all the advances. Revolutionary France would keep all advances unlocked from France. Napoleon's historical character were restrictive regarding which countries they spawned from. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Timur does not spawn. He already exists at game start. Yeah, funny Robespierre decapitation joke. Matfer is here, of course. Yes, yes. Napoleon's name is Corsican, and Italian is Napoleon. See, there's no dynamic surname system. That's fair. Yes, the great bald one is in fact wounded. Yes, I have I have damaged myself. Keep government reform and a new government reform will be unlocked and establish the constitutional state. Throughout the disaster, you can go through the equivalent of the Great Terror and become an autocracy, and later on there are paths to become or restore the monarchy once again. That is all very interesting. I do like the idea that there's so many dynamic paths for someone going through the revolution. Should switch off all the hats for later ages for 3D characters? What? Confuse confusion. Are you supposed to be able to join the podcast room? No. The podcast room is supposed to be secret, in fact. So if you can see it, that would be unusual. Uh, if you would like to join, I could pull you in. You can join? Prove it. Prove it then. Prove it. No balls.
Greetings.
Damn it! They all can join. How the heck? What did I do? What did I do that lets people join this channel? Everyone shouldn't be able to see it even. What the heck? What the heck? View channel. Everyone should disable that. Quite some time. Curious. It must be something to do with the order that certain roles on the server are organized, as in some roles are listed higher than they should be. And as a result they allow doing certain things. Very, very strange. What the heck? I need to just find there's RCM. What roles? World building, Joff gamer, Joff. It's got to be that new role that Joff the the watching role, the role that lets people
I love watching.
um the role for like watching uh what is it like? I don't know. You don't have that role? What the heck could it be? Ah! And you can see the podcast room itself, not even just the channel.
Well, can they join it?
Yeah, they can join too. They can view it. They can
Someone
join
can
it.
join in and just yell a huge slur and you get demonetized forever.
Please don't say that. Why would you say that?
I think you can trust your community enough not to do that. Just deal with it when you're done.
Yeah.
Don't think your viewers want to watch you be like.
Yeah, literally just don't give people ideas. It's not something you should joke about. Um people like the community is nice, but like you never know. You never know if you yeah. Um I decline. I don't know. I've tried getting. Oh, there. Figured out what was causing it. Yeah, now it's gone. I figured out that was really weird. And right. I gotta fix this before I forget. I will. I can let, yeah, I don't want people being able to see and join it on just whenever. So yeah, thanks for letting me know about that. But yeah, I can let people in uh when they ask, maybe if they aren't on their best behavior. And you say you're so sad, Aim, but you've never chosen to hang out and talk before, so something tells me you're not actually all that sad. It's true, I have brought him to secret places before. I threw him in the the unmarked white van and dragged him off to places unknown to watch Danganronpa. So yes, it would not be the first time. For the moment, Napoleon's the one and only triple hundred character in the game. That's just so nuts. That is wild that he is a triple hundred character. Greetings. That's okay. It's okay to be shy. Often did the revolution fire for a player who was not trying to intentionally induce it. Okay. It's definitely triggerable, although it's difficult to talk about percentages in most games. It spreads from AI countries. Revolution regularly triggers to AI. For instance, just checked. Last night, triggered 5 out of 5 times. So it was always happening back then. Okay. You didn't ask me to turn off the camera.
Yeah. I don't know what it looks like.
Oh no! No! There be a human. Yes, there is. There is another human in this room. Suspicious indeed. Oh, very pretty. Pretty picture. Hmm. Clarkolian Kentapart. Yes, recognizable for his glasses. Yes, it is his disguise. If add this content to the game, no, not Napoleon's secret disguise. Clarkolian Kentapart. Hmm. Okay, good. Yeah. Monarchies get antagonism towards revolutionary countries, which they definitely should. Yes, and vice versa. Yeah, if the king wins instead of the revolution may trigger in another great power, making it possible for the situation to trigger anyway.
I am temporarily free before I need to get dinner.
Hello, temporarily free. Uh, yes, finished
Hi,
up.
I heard. Oh yes.
We finished up the yeah, the revolution. Dev Diary
Nice.
and read to the
I
end of
heard
the.
Napoleon may or may not be the greatest human to ever live.
He just is, in fact, the greatest human to ever live in this game. He is, as of now, the singular, the one and only 100 stat man. He is just, and if France is revolutionary, he will spawn for them. For other countries, there are characters. There'll be a chance for other characters that will be randomly generated, inspired by him and Robespierre that will spawn. But Napoleon just is insane. Um,
Oh yeah. I heard about this dev diary from a few others before you did your stream, where basically the revolution they have like a generic version, right, that can spawn outside of France. They
mhm.
just call it the revolution.
Well, it happens to everyone. It's not like France has a specific version of it that's more special. It's just that they have extra they have unique versions of events, if that makes sense. So it's like if it's targeting
Yeah.
this tag,
I here's
this
the
event
thing.
will happen. Otherwise, it'll be the generic event.
It's hard to explain because on the one hand I get it, but it sounds really dumb in my head to hear just the revolution.
Well,
I'm sure we
Napoleon
localize
himself
like the German
spawns.
Revolution or
Uh,
oh yes.
well, Napoleon himself spawns from the Reign of Terror disaster. There's two different disasters. There's a Reign of Terror disaster that can happen to or revolutionary chaos
Oh,
rather.
okay. So you have to get this disaster first.
Yeah,
I see.
so the revolutionary chaos, which represents the Reign of Terror, um, is what's required for Napoleon to spawn. But for the revolutionary chaos to happen, you need to be a revolutionary tag already. So you get the people's up. Okay, wait, okay. So to go back to the
Wait. This is
start,
important. Do you have to be French to become Napoleon?
Napoleon only shows up in France. Yes, Napoleon only shows
Even
up
if
in
you
France.
don't own Corsica or anything,
I
as
have no
long as you
idea.
are the French tag, you will get it.
I
Oh,
have no
sorry. Okay.
idea.
Just curious.
Yeah, I have no idea if it relates to you owning Corsica or not, but I suspect that he'll just show up anyway.
That's why I wanted to check. Because remember we were
Yeah.
having a discussion about this. That's why I was curious.
Um. So first you just there is just revolution tag. Um. The revolution disaster. So the monarchy versus the revolutionaries. If the revolutionaries win, then you get the rise of the insert name revolutionary state, and then the first great power to fall to the revolution will cause the situation, the people's uprising, which will just be this. It's a global struggle between the people, the people's uprisings, and um, the monarchies of the world, and they battle back and forth with
Yeah.
having various buttons to press and such.
That's how you get your coalitions. I see.
Hmm.
Okay.
And yeah, people get natural antagonism, just baseline towards each other.
Which makes sense. Okay.
He should show up if you own Corsica. Well, yeah, but if you don't own Corsica, then what? I guess Napoleon just doesn't exist. I suspect that they'll do it
It's a
anyway. I
yeah.
suspect it won't
For
relate to
a
that.
specific for a specific gamification. If it's a reward for being France and doing a revolution and doing this more and having more flavor, I think that's fair. Because having arbitrary checks like that would make it less interesting.
I
I can
would
see the argument for that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, what I would prefer is that it's what you're saying, right? Where he shows up specifically for the tag that owns Corsica, if it gets a
Well, that's
revolution.
what I was talking about earlier. But the problem is then, remember we were discussing why that could cause more issues if it was that way.
No.
Because remember I was saying initially that should be that way, and then you were saying how people would just conquer specific provinces to get catch more great leaders.
Yeah, that definitely could happen. I could definitely see it being
That's
a
why you
case
were
of
saying
being
you didn't
like,
like it.
I could definitely see it being a case then where, why you'd be playing as like, um, uh, the Maghreb. You'd unite the Maghreb as a Morocco, and you'd be like, well, I got to make sure I conquer Corsica, so that I can get Napoleon Bonaparte at the end game.
Or Joffrey, better idea. You're playing as Morocco. You need to conquer Spain so you can get Ferdinand and Isabella.
Yeah, I don't know. The,
Or
the
no, you get
problem with
Columbus instead as an Arab instead.
the problem with Napoleon is the fact that he's very specifically from Corsica, which is not so it's not a case of you being able to be like, well, he can just spawn in France elsewhere. Like, oh yeah, if he's from like Gascony, but you lose Gascony to the English, it's like, well, yeah, he can spawn in like I don't know. Uh,
Which, yeah, I'm agreeing with you that it is a changing of
Champagne.
history. But I'd argue it's better for the game to be that way.
But
I get to a national flavor instead.
But regardless of how that's implemented, with it most likely being a case of it being tied to the tag specifically and not the tile, as sad as that is, um, the revolutionary chaos disaster is something that can happen to revolutionary countries, specifically only them, and it will happen if they have low stability and or um, okay, low stability and Republican values. Don't know how hard.
Wait, question.
Yeah.
Can anyone get the Reign of Terror, or does France have a special version of it?
No, like I was saying, it's just the revolutionary chaos. The Reign of Terror is just an event that happens during it.
So, if I understand this right, the revolution disasters and like all these, what do you call it, scenarios, are things that can happen to any revolutionary
Yes.
country. But if France specifically is the one to go through those steps, they can get Napoleon.
Yes, and Robespierre.
Okay.
However, if
Interesting.
anyone else is doing it, they can still get they have a chance of getting a dynamic version of said events where someone that is inspired by Robespierre or Napoleon will show up.
I do like that. I was worried that they were just going to ignore that, but I like the idea. Obviously, don't just copy Napoleon, but
And
having
also,
a
it's less
similar
likely.
type of leader.
Like if you're playing as France, it's much more like it's quite likely that you'll get the Napoleon and Robespierre events. But if you're playing as other people, it's just a significantly less likely thing to happen. And they're
I'm confused. How's the
inspired by
likelihood
it.
work?
I don't know. They just change values.
They just say it's less likely. Okay, I was curious.
Well, yeah, they just say it's less likely, and that would be really easy to code because you would just say, check if
Well,
France,
I was
then
wondering
you
if they
disable the
did
generic
specific numbers.
event, and if France enable the non-generic event and just make a non-generic event much more likely to happen. So,
Okay, so if I'm looking at this, revolutionary empire is probably what Napoleon did, right?
yeah,
Is revolutionary autocracy going to be related to like Robespierre or something? I'm
I think so.
confused.
Yeah,
What's the difference?
I assume that's essentially the Robespierre situation where you just become a dictator.
Okay.
So you end the revolutionary chaos by either you go back to monarchy, become
Reject opportunity,
it
return to
happens.
tradition.
Yeah. It says there's events during this disaster where there's monarchist movements.
Well, there
So,
should be. They tried to go back several times. They actually did succeed sometimes.
I'm sure that they're definitely I'm sure that if I was in this situation in France in this time period and the revolutionaries are cutting off everyone's head and being super terrifying like this, I would even start to consider, well, maybe things weren't so bad before because at least they weren't lopping off everyone's heads.
You and the revolutionaries go out of their way to piss off every religious person in France by closing the churches and then changing the calendars that were explicitly designed based on influence from the Catholic Church to be a 10-day, 10-hour. Like, they try to make base 10 everything. That's so dumb.
Yeah.
Only in France.
You'd like to be able to stay as a revolutionary republic? Well, if you stay as if you get if you become a revolutionary republic and you want to stay that way, two things you can do. A, don't fuck up because this disaster only happens if you have bad stability and republican tradition. And if this disaster does happen, then just hold on tight and don't fall to any of the other things because it will end if either not revolutionary anymore, you are a revolutionary autocracy, a revolutionary empire, or you've just had the disaster for 10 years. So you can get
but I
through
was
it
going
by
to say
staying a
to that.
republic.
But what I was going to say to that is, I'm not worried about staying a revolutionary republic. I'm actually worried about if anyone wants to get Napoleon. Because it seems like you have to intentionally mess up your country not once but twice.
All right, I'm gonna be honest now. Would you not would you not want 100 stat man, even though it requires you to go through pain to get to him?
Don't get me wrong, I do it anyway. It's just this seems like it'd be really hard.
It's certainly a lot of things that need to go the right way to get it to happen. Yes, but it better be painful for you to get a 100 character with goaded traits as well. He's
I can't wait for you to get Napoleon, and then 2 years later he dies in a hunting accident. Could you imagine?
he spawns as he's 25 years old. He's triple 100s and he's got four of these traits, and I don't know what these traits are, but I can assume that the first one with a sword is based on aggressive attacker from CK. The second one's it's a conqueror related trait. Third one's some sort of
I'm just
military
so happy they
tactician.
brought back character traits.
I do really like I also like the fact that he's got four. The fact that he's got four character traits means that it's not like EU4 where you just um it's like,
Yeah,
oh, after the
infinite the longer
character,
you live.
it's like, yeah, the longer, I mean, when the character's ruled for a certain amount of time, they get another trait, and roll the dice, see what it is. Here you
It
have,
actually feels like it's tied to the character's personality. I like
yeah,
that a lot.
and that will help a lot with modding too, because that means the fact there's more than three means that it's going to be much easier for us to potentially tie character stats like custom modifiers to just making a unique trait for each race and being like, all right,
That's what I was also.
you get this trait, does this.
Yeah, that's one other thing I was going to say. It seems like you can actually preset traits here, which I really think is cool. Not just the characters that exist at the start of the game, but any characters that you might want to add in the future. That's really good for mods.
Yeah, because this I was always wondering about things like how do you deal with the fact that because like you get Anbanar where for a long time they needed to have just a character trait for long-lived and immortal characters that would just take up space until eventually they found a workaround. But this means that for us at least, we'll be able to just initially at least uh, apply all that like character stuff to just one specific trait that you hand to them. But they can have lots of other ones, so you can um, deal with the fact that you want characters, including like all characters, whether they're rulers or peasants or counselors or what have you, to have the correct amount of lifespan. You know, the ones that should live long, and the ones who shouldn't live shorter, that sort of thing. Uh, can't wait to get a good leader from a European spanning empire. I'm sure it will help my global domination. This is all late content. Yeah. That is the thing. It's so late in the game that getting Napoleon. Yeah. How much does Napoleon really matter when he's so late in the game? I mean, who's really worried about getting some I mean, okay, it could be relevant for multiplayer. If you're playing multiplayer and you're like, all right, I got to get Napoleon, I could see that being the case.
I don't think Napoleon. Again, I think having a 100% ruler is great. Don't get me wrong, but
Remember
the
him; he can lead
amount that
armies.
you, which I agree with you, Joffrey. What I'm saying is that is all really nice. However, you're also trading a lot to get to that because you have to sacrifice a lot of potential buildup to reach Napoleon. And once you get him, it's all nice and good. But you've got to get there first.
Yeah, you're right about that.
And again, you are intentionally hampering yourself to invest for a long-term gain. So while people aren't just gonna not attack you when you don't have Napoleon if you're clearly trying to get him.
Yeah, if you're playing multiplayer and you get the revolution, people aren't gonna just
If you're intentionally, yeah,
people aren't gonna just ignore you um if you get the disasters and all that. You're fighting a huge civil war. People aren't gonna just be like, okay, we'll give you we'll give you a second to sort this out. We'll come back once you've got Napoleon, and have double everyone's army combat width and discipline.
Was to be fair, Joffrey, that is what happened with Napoleon and France in real life. The reason why he rose to power so fast is because France was getting invaded by like 5 different nations, and he was the only one who could defeat them.
You know, it's funny to think that yeah, if this event worked differently, it would theoretically be possible. Like, imagine if the French Revolution is ongoing and yeah, France is getting attacked by a ton of people, but the revolutionary occupied part of France is just like able to beat the shit out of everyone else because their armies show up with their like characters that are in the 30s of stats, and then he shows up and has twice as much combat with all of his troops instantly engaged and shit. Uh, it's a part of something I was saying before you came as well is the fact that I'm really hoping, and if it's not possible, then that's fine. But I'm hoping that it's possible to jank the system so that character stats can go above 100 for the purpose of our characters that should naturally be beyond mortal limitations. Uh, if not,
Yeah, we're gonna look at Olway with their like 10,000.
yeah. Uh, I would certainly hope that yeah, there well, there's some characters like yeah, at game start would there is one character I can think of at game start who's not immortal, but he definitely should have at least 100 mil and some very high other
I don't
stats
know
at least.
I don't know if not immortal is the way I describe it, Joffrey.
Okay, well, he reincarnates, but you know it's different. You're in your restful VC since you said you wanted to be. Oh, all right. I'm a yoink you.
I love how I look
Right.
at I'm going down till I got my food, and then
Hello?
someone's left their ID here.
Okay, it is. I had to stream up in this, so I was hearing both voices at the same time.
Yeah, I usually just turn down the stream volume because I still watch the stream to be on the same page as Joffrey.
Yeah.
Like most times when I'm in a stream, I'll have read the dev diary beforehand, but this time I didn't.
Yeah. Uh, Napoleon, most OP character in the game.
Yeah, I don't really care as much about the balance aspect compared to the fact that I think it's really funny, according to EU4 or EU5, Napoleon is just the best character in the world of all in the time span of the game.
I mean, he
He's
was a
just the
really
pinnacle.
good military leader. He conquered most of Europe.
And then the thing with the military ruler's skill is that in EU5 you want all three stats for a good leader of armies. They're all important for armies.
Yeah, I can see why they made him 100, 100, 100.
And we don't even know what these traits are.
I can tell you they're good.
Definitely need to make a comment here asking what Napoleon's traits do.
Maybe who knows? Maybe someone's asked already.
I did check.
Oh, you did? Okay.
But oh god, I didn't even think about the fact that so if you fall to the revolution, this is the other important thing now. The revolutionary target, so the most powerful revolutionary tag, gets these bonuses.
Oh,
So an extra 10%
Okay,
manpower,
Joffrey.
yeah, 10% morale, and max war exhaustion goes down.
Okay. My voice died for a second. What I was saying is that that's not surprising because that's exactly what they did in EU4. If one nation is getting coalition by like 5 other nations, that one nation needs to be strong enough that it can survive and also be a threat.
Yeah, ugh. I don't remember what it is, but there's some societal value. I think it's communal that lets you decrease maximum war exhaustion as well. So there's gonna be ways you can stack this with other reductions to max war exhaustion.
That's kind of the point, though. That's what Napoleon did in real life. France was under siege several times.
Yeah.
He was in a state of constant war for like almost 20 years.
Oh, but just oh, I can't imagine how much army morale a army would have if it's like late game. So a late game army with all the extra tech and such that would affect that army morale from being the revolutionary target, and then it's being led by Napoleon. Those numbers would be in the
I,
stratosphere. Those troops would fight to the
Jeff
death.
Joffrey, I agree with you. However, that's kind of the point. Napoleon, or really at this point, whoever the revolutionary target is supposed to be the endgame crisis.
I
They are
suppose.
the final boss of Europe, the one that basically everyone else who's not a republic has to team up to fight against.
Yeah. First trait is probably higher troop damage or higher enemy casualties, and the last one is something like inspirational orator. Yeah, it probably is something like that, where the first trait, because like aggressive attacker from CK is what the image looks like. So I imagine that it's a case of, yeah, because it looks
So
almost
he's
the
just the
same.
best list ever.
Yeah, it's insane in CK3, so it's probably it's
Okay,
probably also
Joffrey, question. Did they ever explain what the button assist foreign revolutionaries does?
yes, yes.
What did it do? I need to know.
Where I don't remember where they were showing it exactly, but what it does is you increase the progress. Maybe it was showing it down here. No. It increases the there we go. So it causes like this to happen to another person. France fans the flames of revolution. So then your Castile you get Castilian revolutionaries gain a certain amount of progress, and then it increases it just adds a bunch of pops across your provinces to the revolutionary movement. And being the target of the revolution means not I don't mean like the revolutionary target, but having the revolution happening to you means that your rebels are less likely to leave movements. So essentially what this does is it just adds rebels to a movement that weren't initially rebellious, and then they just won't leave because that's just the nature of this event. And also being in the age of revolutions just makes people more agitated in general, just globally. So it's nasty.
I'm hoping it's not like in EU4 where supporting rebels basically does nothing.
Yeah,
It
it's a
would
unique
actually.
thing. So I mean, you can see right here that there are just numbers. I mean, this
Well,
this
it's
specific.
unique. That's what I'm saying. I hope it doesn't like. I hope it's more effective. I'm saying.
I'm hoping that you can like promote national revolutionaries, like a revolutionary Croatia and Hungary or something, or
Oh yeah,
just use them
that is an
as an
interesting idea
example.
because the revolution was closely tied with nationalism. Because well, actually, I disagree. I disagree. For
Mm,
example, Napoleon, even though he was big in the national borders of France, was very much against Italian nationalism. He broke up Italy into like several states.
well, I mean that. Yeah.
It depends.
Um, I
So I don't think the idea of a revolution being nationalist is inherently true. I
I
think it can also not be true.
It could be a separate reform. It could be a nationalist, revolutionary republic or dictatorship or something.
I just don't. I don't think that nationalism's really going to be represented. Because this is
I mean, it
before
shouldn't be.
Vic.
That's a Vic 3 thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, I
it'd be a little bit.
yeah, because the French Revolution did have some of that concept. Yeah, and
By the
you
way, I
get
need to
people.
go. I'll be back in
Oh,
10:30 maybe.
bye bye. But as for, I mean, supporting revolutions in general, you can still support, you know, uh, like separatist movements. It's not the same as what you're referring to, where you can't like, look at England and be like, I want to support the Irish national movement because they don't want because I highly doubt that if you were supporting Irish rebels, they were going to form like the nation of Ireland. But who knows? Maybe they would.
We'll just have to see how when the game comes out, because I feel like it'll be a lot more regionalized, like EU4, where you have this little tag has this specific kind of rebel, and
Yeah, but it's also gonna be weird because in this game you can just make new tags. Like there's no the whole concept of like, oh, late game you can create a client state that doesn't exist in this. You can just create new tags wherever you want. We see that all the
I
time.
know
So
it's like it's definitely going to change things because having that earlier means that you can just kind of offload a lot of your direct coring onto vassals instead of just taking the hit yourself.
definitely that. Yeah, I mean people do that a lot in EU4 as well. I'm a huge vassal enjoyer, for example, but here it's even more pronounced. It seems like, and here the cost is instead of it being using choosing between paper or bird points, it's instead the opportunity cost of um, using your counselors to do the integrate province action or not. So it's gonna be
Well,
interesting to
it's
see.
also finite because you have the like diplomatic capacity or whatever it's called. Maybe
Hmm.
called something different. And if you go above that, you're gonna start getting penalties, and I think it's worse in EU4 because in EU5, like a lot of what used to be mana, you have to just directly pay for. So having a good economy in EU5 is a lot more important. You can't just declare war, be a warmonger, and kind of just have an economy of conquest by war reps and stuff. You actually have to have some amount of an economy. As far as I know, hopefully it launches in that state, but we'll see.
You definitely can't yeah, you can't just declare no CV wars and spend paper points to get out of the negative stability it causes. You have to use cash for that. Yeah. Or and cash and or using your counselors. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Cash will be probably the better one, at least in the early game, until like you get more advances. I could definitely see nations like Venice or whoever leads Hansa being pretty strong at the beginning because they have that much cash. They can just kind of afford to do a lot of things. While you have,
Funny you say whoever leads the Hansa because keep in mind the Hansa is a building-based country that has vassal cities.
yeah,
So
that could be interesting. They'd still be very powerful, though.
yes.
You gotta admit, they would be a really weird but very powerful nation. They could definitely be a top contender for nations to form Germany with, because Lubeck is very strong in EU4, and they're like the closest thing.
Well,
But Lubeck's it's a lot different from how
the
the Hansa is in EU5.
the key thing with EU5 is we don't know how we don't know like okay we know that there are a bit like they've temporarily taken out like the Holy Order building based countries but we know there's banks and then whatever the Hansa is we don't know what the heck the Hansa specifically is but we know it's a building based country but theoretically it's something other than a bank and it might be the only of whatever its type that it is
Trade
trade yeah. Um, yeah, Nathaniel. That's why I think that the Hansa will be very strong. I believe that's what Rai means as well. The fact that they, even though they don't own land themselves, they and their vassals will control a lot of trade, and as a result, they'll earn money from it. So,
The problem is that you're not a country. You're a trade league. You don't have territory, which is going to bite you, or I will suspect it will bite you later on when you're trying to centralize. If you only have like with with building based countries, I feel like you're going to have to struggle more to centralize and try and just have a nation.
we don't know if it's even possible for the Hansa to do that. We know that the Hansa has vassals, but and that they can like build navies in their vassals' territory and stuff, but we don't know if they're actually ever able to settle, quote unquote, and integrate their vassals and become a landed tag.
I would think so, but
I'd hope so.
yeah. Like, imagine you're trying to, like, once holy orders get added, you're trying to play a holy order. It'd be kind of silly to not be able to, like, have a permanent place.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be possible. Because I mean, okay, is playing? Okay, like if I'm playing the Knights of Calatrava or something, um, Order of Santiago or something. I don't know. There's a few holy orders in Spain. If I'm playing one of those guys and I'm trying to set up my commanderies all over Europe and get more cash and manpower and stuff, I'm doing it all with the end goal of using those funds and troops that I'm acquiring to then like conquer Tunis or something and then set up a holy order there. That's the end goal. So I hope that they'll enable you to do that once the first DLC is out, because apparently it's going to come with the free patch of that. So
The first DLC doesn't actually look bad. If it is going to have that free content at the same time, plus Byzantium stuff, it doesn't look horrible. But
not Byzantium.
Praise. Was it the Maghreb one?
Yeah, the first DLC is Across the Pillars.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Iberia and North Africa.
Still good. Just not Roman LARP. So it maybe might not sell much.
Wow. Excuse you. They do have the Roman LARP coming soon, TM, though, because of course.
I kind of hope with, like, Byzantium, they actually try and, like, they're not, I was discussing this before, they're not in nearly as bad of a position as EU4 Byzantium is in. They can feasibly make a comeback, like even in a like semi-realistic way. In Paradox games, realism kind of gets thrown out the window, considering you're well, it's a historical, at best, a historical simulation. But no, I don't really think they should be like nerfed into the ground just to make them, oh, this hard nation. I think that it should feel natural. I don't want it to be like you get saddled with 1,000 different disasters at the beginning that you can't feasibly ever get past, and you're just better off playing the Ottomans or regional tag that isn't Byzantium.
Yeah.
Unless you just really want the LARP.
I like the fact that they're difficult, but I also like the fact that they can feasibly defeat the Ottomans at the beginning. And by feasibly, I mean they're stronger than the Ottomans. Because that's how it should be. It should be a case that right now, one-on-one, if the Byzantines put their effort towards it, they would defeat the Ottomans in a fisticuffs. But they have other problems to deal with. So, as the Byzantines, what you should be worrying about, you got to choose your hard, you know? Do you deal with them now, or are you trying to fix your economy? EU4 Byzantium was in the last of its days. In EU5, there still may be some hope if things happened in other ways. That rhymes, and you didn't even mean to do that, I imagine. I like that. Yeah, I don't like the fact that there seems to be a sentiment among a lot of people of like, aw, I just want them to make Byzantium harder, because I want to feel that uselessness and rising up from being absolutely nothing to winning. And it's like, well, that's just not what's happening here now. If you want to get that feeling, you're going to have to play someone else. So, like, I don't know. Anatolia and the Balkans are just too much of a Thunderdome for that in this time period. And that's something I love, personally. I love Thunderdomes. Ryan and I keep talking about is like Cilicia and stuff in the nights.
Yes. Yes. That is probably looking like one of my favorite Anatolian tags, because they are just so unique. They have Armenian culture, Mia Fistite, or however you pronounce it, religion, and like that's the only, like basically only Armenia has that like denomination of Christianity, and it is a very interesting setup. They are very unique from anybody else in Anatolia, and I could easily see them like they have the vibe basically.
All the other Armenian pops are underneath Kurds, and those Kurds are underneath the Jalarids. The Jalarids are just so strong at this game start. It's gonna be nuts. I think a fun
you're
game
going
could be
to
playing the Eretinids and then trying to unite Anatolia and then throw off the Jalarid shackles. That could be cool.
Yeah.
But there's
I
also like
think,
Genoa on the like Genoa's colonies. You could play as Genoa and vassalize a bunch of people for more trade influence in the region, sort of thing too.
I think the like Anatolia will probably centralize into like one big power. Like I don't expect it to be the Ottomans every single time, because like if you think about it, the other Beyliks had a chance to become the Ottomans, and like in
Hmm.
effect.
Here's the
So I
thing,
think it'd
that's
be
not going to happen in this game because from what we've seen, the Ottomans just have all like the main character mechanics.
So
I
okay,
hope it gets distributed equally. I
the
really
main
hope
character
the other
Doesn't seem
mechanics,
that way.
the main character mechanics, for the most part, are something that is applied to whoever is the strongest Beylik. So the Turks, and by the Turks I mean the Ottomans, the Ottomans are in a position to become the strongest. I don't know if they are the strongest at the start. They probably are, or maybe it's the Aretinids. I don't remember. I think it's the Aretinids, but the point is that the Ottomans can become the strongest very quickly, and they usually do. But that doesn't mean that they'll actually win in the end. Um, but yeah, every Turk nation can like get bonuses. I don't think they can form the Ottomans. That would be really strange.
I don't think they'd
They shouldn't
be
be able
able to
to.
form.
Ottoman refers to the House of Osman, which is their
Yeah.
dynasty.
They should form
They wouldn't.
their own empire. It should be the
Yeah,
Garamanid
they would.
Empire,
It
for
would be.
example.
Yeah, like, like in the EU4, you just be able to form realm, which is
Yeah.
basically just other blue Ottomans in a lot of ways.
I don't
I
mind that.
suspect.
If that's all they do
I
here, I don't mind
suspect. I suspect they're going to do something similar, but I would really like it if there were like with like some of the, at least with some of the bigger ones like the Caraman and like the Aretinids, you had a unique kind of like the Aretinid Empire, and you can kind of like role play this alternate Turkish empire that took over Europe instead of just the Ottomans. Even that would be a little bit like it would spice it up a little bit. It'd be like, oh, cool, this different dynasty rose instead of the Ottomans. But I do think the Ottomans should have at least a slight character, like the characters in the Ottomans that like rule the nation should have a slight advantage because that's kind of how they got to where they are. But I don't think it should be like it shouldn't be like you shouldn't be able. Uh, I can't think of how to phrase it. You should be able to
This
take
way,
them out.
if you have Napoleon in the game, I think it's perfectly fair that they should add Mehmed II as a potential character in the game. I don't want to
Yeah.
give the Ottomans like special buffs, but I think a character is a perfectly fair game. Because theoretically, anyone can get a good character. It's just the Ottomans should have much higher chance of getting Mehmed II
I mean, if a
as a
different
special
Beylik
character.
wins, then why not let them just have Mehmed be able to spawn?
I don't think that they should have
Yeah,
Mehmed
I
because
disagree because I think it would be part of their like national flavor in the same way where Napoleon
Yeah.
is most likely.
like
I think they can have like their own great conqueror, sure, if they unite Anatolia. But I think Mehmed II specifically should be an Ottoman thing.
Now, I also
maybe
want to.
your heir gets some buffs if you conquer like a good amount of Anatolia. You get heir gets a lot of buffs, or the current ruler gets a lot of buffs to what they already have. But I don't think it be like you should have Mehmed II randomly shows up and is your heir now.
And he's
or
got 100
some
stats and
sort of
everything.
discount.
Well, okay, I didn't say that. I don't think he should be 100, but I do
Oh.
think he should be a character you can get because I think it's again. I've been a fan of just nations generally having historical options for heirs or the generals. I
The
don't think that's a bad thing.
I've remembered the main reason when we've had this conversation before why I don't like the idea of monarchs, of like important monarchs from history getting added, because it works in like EU4. We're playing EU4 this weekend, and
Yeah, the dynasty tree idea, right?
yes,
That's what I was
exactly,
saying. I was
the
saying
dynasty
them
tree.
being like a 0-year-old, they just become an heir that you can like raise and becomes your actual ruler later.
I could see it being a case of them being like a random chance of this character being born. Of it, like when a character is born, random chance of it being this character. But then the problem with that is you need to also make sure it's the firstborn, otherwise they'd never become the heir, and it would, you know.
I don't
I'm sure
think
they had the
that.
Ottomans especially had mechanics for like designating heirs because they all just like killed the ones that they didn't want to be the heir.
Yeah.
That's also true, I guess.
I think that you should be able to get good rulers by chance, but like special rulers like Mehmed and like Napoleon should only be like tag specific. You only have to play the Ottomans or France to get them. You can't get them
Just to
any
be
other
clear,
way.
just to be clear, I'm not arguing this for just good rulers. I think if a nation had a especially bad ruler, they should also be allowed to be ruled, and
Oh
you shouldn't
no.
have to get them as part of the nation flavor.
King
I
King
think it should go
Henry,
both ways.
whoever.
I've argued this before. Like if, for example, there were some really bad English rulers. I forgot their names. Like after Edward III, the reason why the English lost the Hundred Years' War is because there were some really shit rulers and like all sorts of family squabbles. I have to read more about it, but like it turned to
War of
shit
the
after. That's
Roses.
why the Plantagenets died out.
Yeah. That should be part of it, and that could also give the Celtic nations an advantage. Cope. Because they
Wait, I have an
have.
idea. Hear me out. What if you had as France a chance every time you do a royal marriage? You've got like a 1% chance that you spawn like Marie Antoinette.
No. No. That is way too
It'll be
much.
so
They would never
funny.
do that. I'm surprised they did Napoleon even.
Fine.
Looking at
You're
Cilicia's
actually, yeah.
resources though, they've got tin, which is that is nice. They don't have iron though, which is a shame, but they do
Why
have
don't they
tin.
silk
They got
and
tin, they got
wine? I think the
silk.
silk and wine's great.
Yeah, they got a lot of good like luxury kind of stuff. Tin's important for making stuff. They got highland areas, so they got stone if they need it. They got multiple lumber RGOs. They got wheat
Yeah,
for more
definitely.
food too. And their olives is a
Those are also
farmland
good.
tile, by the way. So
Yeah, like again, the reason why I mentioned the silk specifically, the olive's also a good shout because they're both on the coast, which means they'll both probably be a lot more profitable because you can
uh,
increase the control on coast as we've seen before.
only problem with playing Cilicia is that the most powerful country in the game is right next to you and owns land in your area. It's the
Yeah,
Mamluks
that
own two
does suck.
tiles in your vale.
I'm sure if you become a tributary of Mamluks, they can protect you in the early game.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I didn't know that Caraman has silver. Ooh. Hold on, let them cook. Let them cook.
Maybe if I kill them as Cilicia, I can get some free silver. That would be nice.
There's a lot of good stuff in there. If you either play as Caraman or conquer them, that'd be really good early. So that would probably be what you'd want to do. I mean, who else are you gonna fight as Cilicia? You've got the Aretinids to your north. They're subjects of the Jalarids, and the Dulcadirids are subjects of the Mamluks. So the only way is west into Caraman, and then the rest of the Thunderdome.
Yeah, it looks like a very difficult start. Maybe not like Careback tier, but it is definitely going to be a headache. It's probably going to be the Byzantium of EU5 because it is going to be a hard nation, but it is probably not going to be the hardest, but it is going to be popular, if you know what I mean.
Sorry, what? Repeat that?
Nathaniel, a lot of those places that you're looking at and thinking are mountains is actually plateau. Oh, actually, a lot of the tiles in Cilicia itself are mountains, though. So that's both good and bad. Really good for defense, and really bad for industrialization and shit.
If I remember, there's a pass right around there where they had the Battle of. Was it there? One second, let me double check. Manticore was somewhere. I don't remember exactly.
Massacre,
Point is, that's why it's like one of the. Yeah, there's a. I think there's a special monument in CK3 called the Great Sicilian Gates, which the Byzantines built up as a defensive measure.
All this is Mediterranean. There's so much Mediterranean climate here, though, that even with the mountain tiles, you're gonna have a really high population capacity in this area. So that'll still be nice.
I honestly think Cilicia could, like, you could play tall for a little bit, then conquer Caraman, like, have a stronger base to conquer Caraman, and then you can just kind of blow up from there.
No, the real real homies would play as Karaman and then release and play as a Cappadocian Greek.
No. Okay, no, I was very far off. Massacre's in Armenia. That's my bad. The point is just generally
Cappadocian.
Eastern Anatolia. There's a lot of really good defensive
Cappadocian's a
mountains.
Greek culture. Yeah, there's
I
Greek
challenge.
Cappadocians and Pontic
What's that
Greeks.
what's laws? What's that?
Laz is it's a migratory tribal group that is from Caucasia. So a lot of them have come along west as well, and the Turkomans are a more tribal Turkish group as well.
The Turkomans, I believe, are whether they're like QQ or AQ. It's one of those.
If
Some
anybody
negative.
I
can
could
do
one of them
a
in EU4
full
has the Turkoman
like,
culture.
if anybody can convert all of Anatolia to Cappadocian, you will get a high five from me.
Where's my Hittite culture? Bring me my Hittites back.
Yeah, Joffrey. New mech idea. Everyone plays a random Bronze Age guy.
Yeah, but the Hittites are gone, man. They're all freaking gone.
You know who's not gone? The Assyrians.
The Syriacs aren't gone, yeah. There's also Nestorians. There's Nestorians. There's a surprising amount of like pockets of Shiite around in Anatolia. You could probably flip to it pretty easy then, because if so you can flip to a religion within your religious family as long as there's literally any presence of it within your country. But for you to flip to a different religious family, it needs to be 40% of your religion in your country. So the Ottomans are able to day one convert to Orthodox if they want to, which is funny.
Yeah, I remember. Is Orthodox and Catholicism considered in the same family?
Yeah.
What about
Any
Orthodox
Christian.
So every Christian religion is in the same family.
Yes, every single Christian religion is you are capable of converting to a different Christian religion if you have any of it in your country. You can at game
So,
start
like,
choose to, as
Byzantines
France,
and
convert to
Egypt.
Cathar if you really want to. You really shouldn't, but you could.
Or like if
I
the Byzantines
remember-
retook Egypt, they could become like Coptic.
Yes.
The playmaker, like when he was talking, like when he was playing Byzantium, he would like there was this little like tiny Christian like heretic thing in Albania. He'd flip to it because it would give him like coring bonuses or like the equivalent thereof in EU5, and then immediately switch to Protestant because it's broken, and no role play at all. Just complete religion flipping.
Yeah, it's Christiani in Bosnia, which is a religion in CK as well. Supposedly they changed that religion as well, which is like a bit, but also that's just the way Playmaker plays, because he insists all the time that he plays EU5 like a video game, which means he does whatever the strongest thing is. So that's why he would do that. It technically was really good for him, I guess. Maybe it's not as good anymore, because they're apparently debating internally whether or not they're going to require you to have a region converted both to an accepted culture and religion for you to have it as a core. So maybe it's not so good to just convert to Christiani as the Byzantines.
Actually, wait, Joffrey. I like the idea a lot because it would explain, for example, okay, it would be bad for tolerant nations, but I assume that they could add exceptions for if you are really tolerant, you could have other ways of getting cores.
Yeah, I would
Because then
hope.
you would.
What I would like is for it to be a case of you need to have it both be an accepted / primary culture, as well as either a religion that you have positive tolerance of, or your primary religion. That's what I would say it should be.
I think it should be more group based. So like maybe it would make more sense if like Christians could conquer Christians, and to kind of have them.
I think it should be group based. I agree with Joffrey on this. I think if you tolerate a religion, it shouldn't matter what that religion is, as long as you're okay with having them in your country and you're not going to persecute them.
And usually it's easier to accept people of your religious group. Heretics are usually easier to tolerate than heathens.
Yeah. I mean, it could be like culture in a way. You kind of have your accepted religions, It'd make
Yeah.
accepting one religion kind of broken, because if you accept Catholic, you pretty much get to conquer a lot of Europe without as much trouble. But I
Well,
suppose
to
that's kind
remember,
of the
you say it's broken, but that's literally what every barbarian has ever done when they've invaded into Europe. They just convert because it's easier.
Well, that's different from accepting. That's just converting.
No, no, what I'm saying is the reason why they do that is because it was much easier. Okay, I think that it converting should give more bonuses than accepting. So it should be more preferable to convert than accept, but accepting should give some bonuses. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
like it should be like, yeah, if you're the Ottomans, you're going to want to accept Orthodox or something. Like I think accepting religions
Accept
like
or
culture,
convert.
like
Abe, religions, I think. I know cultures do, and I'm not certain about religions, but I know that cultures can dislike each other more, can like or dislike each other more. Maybe religions do as well, but I don't remember. But I do kind of think that they should. It would probably be a good idea for them to consider, um, doing the same thing with religion that they do with culture. The only reason that I'm hesitant about that is that if you do the same thing with religion as culture, where you have a capacity and you can accept certain ones, then yeah, in places like Europe, where yeah, it's just Catholic and Orthodox, you'll be in Eastern Europe and you'll just be like, okay, I'll just accept the Orthodox. So it wouldn't really work. It would be too easy. Um,
However, Joffrey, I think it should be very hard to accept Orthodox, and one way you could do that is add a modifier that represents the Great Schism, where you can't just accept them because both churches have completely excommunicated the other and refused to talk to each other.
I think yeah, maybe it is just best though for them to keep the whole concept of yeah, to positive and negative tolerance. I think that's probably the best way, doing it this way. But I don't know. I really hope that by the time it's released, they still have some sort of system in place where you need to care about religion. Because right now, culture is so much more important. You care about cultural conversion so much more than religion. Because you need culture to be converted for cores. And I really hope they keep that system of needing religion for it too. Because, or something like that. Maybe you can accept them in some way and still get a core, even though that's not your primary religion. Because, humanist should still be a good path to go. But it's difficult. Anyway, this is way off topic from what the original point of the stream was to be, but that's how this always goes. Yeah, y'all know what you signed up for when you watch a Joffrey stream. You start
I
talking
could do
about the French
exactly what I'm talking
Revolution.
about.
Sorry?
I was asking what's the original topic that you wanted to talk about.
Well, the original topic was the French Revolution.
And then why are you looking at the Balkans and Carpathian maps?
Because we finished talking about that.
Well, then why are you worried
Weren't
about us being
we-
off topic if we already
weren't
finished
we
the
going to
topic?
do the Dutch? Like, weren't we going to do Holland?
was thinking about that. It's been a 98-minute. Wow. It's been a 100-minute stream in a second, so don't might want to go through this a little faster though. Oh dear. But yes, we just will get started with that. See what the Dutch have. I know this one came out a while ago, as in on Friday, but
I can't wait to form the country of Belgium in 1453.
Belgium isn't real.
Yeah,
Ignore the fact that Belgium culture doesn't exist yet.
they're all low
Flemish.
Franconian.
Yeah, Flemish and Dutch haven't been split yet, and Walloon is technically still a culture, but they're just they're basically just another French culture at that moment of time.
No, not France. I need like Germany, Tinto, map, feed.
No, bad Joffrey. Go back to the dev diary.
No, we need to see the Low Countries culture
Dev
map.
diary, the Dutch dev diary now.
No, culture map. Culture map.
Bad Joffrey. No.
Oh yeah, Wallonian, the Walloons. Walloons are a culture. I forgot. I knew that Frisian was a culture that existed right now,
If you
but
keep this up, I'll withhold your high five.
No, no, okay, hold on. No need to do that. No. No.
There we
Yo.
go. Let's go back.
There's a whole 920 Ashkenazi pops. Yo. If
Jewish Netherlands.
If okay, well, you say that. If there was 1% Ashkenazi pops, you would be able to accept them. And if you have 1%, if you have a culture accepted, you're able to assimilate people to it.
Okay.
So that would mean if you somehow manage to get 1% of your pops to be Ashkenazi as the Netherlands, you could start converting people to it and then eventually flip to it being your primary culture.
To be
But
fair,
could you be
that isn't the hardest
Jewish?
thing because so many people would probably be expelling the Ashkenazi pops that if you just had a place that didn't expel them, they'd probably migrate to you.
I don't know. Migration's going to be weird in EU5.
It is going to be weird. I'm just assuming there's some kind of expelling mechanic because they did do that a lot.
Okay, the problem.
Yeah.
So Unreg, you can invite pops. You can invite settler pops, but you can't invite settlers of like other heritages. They need to share your heritage. Specifically, all the times we've seen that with Greenland, all the different times you get like the student talking about his Greenland playthrough, and he's like, "Oh yeah," and then I invite settlers. He can only invite settlers from tags whose primary culture has a heritage at least in common. So. Mind you, that even includes like the Isles because Norse Gale has like 15 million different heritages. But
Okay. That would make the Isles actually a really strong colonial tag. Just hold on for a second, because if they're a part of all of these different culture groups, then you can invite all of these settlers from like the Scandinavian countries and England and like the Celtic countries, and you get to just kind of have an extreme amount of settlers in one area, and you just win, right, pretty much.
I mean, technically, but also if you're playing as the Isles, theoretically you'd be trying to unite the British Isles before you're colonizing.
Yeah, Joffrey, I have a better idea for you. What if you had a German colony? They could ask for settlers from every minor in the Holy Roman Empire.
Holy shit, you're right. Oh my god.
Aren't the Dutch in the German group? That would be really powerful then, because I could just get like free cities to ally me, send all of their pops over to North America, and I don't really feel any difference from it. I just like steal a bunch of people from free cities.
I assume that the Dutch have a Germanic heritage, but we don't know for certain. We haven't seen a sheet, some screen that's like Low Franconian, Germanic heritage, Dutch heritage. You know, I
For
assume
all
that's
we
what it
know,
says.
Joffrey.
I'm willing to bet that it says
Okay.
that there's like a Germanic heritage, and then also like they split it into different groups. But you know.
I'm inclined to agree. I was thinking they might have added some kind of flavor for their culture diverging over time.
Well, yeah, because they split up into the Franconian, like Low Franconian splits up into the different Dutch cultures. But I imagine that even the different Dutch cultures would still have the Germanic heritage, but maybe not.
Interesting. Yeah,
Feel
you're
like
probably right. But also, can you hold down?
England and the Netherlands could technically, and like Frisia, technically all have some amount of heritage because they're all more closely related than any other German group. So if you technically you could have them linked to England, but I don't know if they're going to do that considering it's been a while before England's really been Anglo-Saxon as opposed to just English.
The one similarity that English culture has with the North Germans is that they share, or like any Germans, is that they're in the Germanic language family. So that makes it easier for English pops to be accepted by other people in the Germanic language family. But like that's such a broad thing, and it's not by a huge margin. It's just like, the Scandinavians and Germans. The Scandinavians, Germans, and English like each other more than they like the French or Spanish or Italians. But That's not saying much. And
Speaking of which,
Hmm.
I could see Walloon being like an overarching kind of lowlander group, including Luxembourgish, if they actually include Luxembourgish. I can't pronounce that right. Uh, yeah.
Luxembourg looks like it's split half and half between Middle Franconian, Moselle Franconian and Walloon. So I don't know which culture is their primary, but we'll have to see what Walloon heritage is. Walloon heritage probably is a lot of little bits and bobs too. Whatever the Walloon culture has, I mean, it probably has a couple heritages, is what I'm trying to say.
It would be so
Also,
cool though if Luxembourg can form the Netherlands.
I wouldn't be
Bavarian being in
surprised.
Austria is accurate but cursed at the same time.
Yeah, you have Danube Bavarian and Southern
Yeah.
Bavarian. Yeah. Rest in peace, Austrian culture.
You might technically be able to make your own Austrian culture with the game, but that is whatever.
So, Nathaniel, with the Frenchicized nobility thing, the English court, England and its vassals' court languages are French.
Actually, a
So,
Joffrey question for you.
yes,
Why is it called the Czech culture? I thought it would have been called Bohemian.
because Bohemia is basically just like their way of saying, like, king. It means like to the Czechs, like Kingdom of the Czechs or something.
Yeah, that's. I'm just surprised
Yeah.
that they didn't use the word Bohemia though. That's what
Well,
confused me.
Bohemia
Well,
is the country's
Mor-
name still, but
But it's not
Moravia
the name of
is
the
still
culture.
Czech.
I thought it was referring to both.
Moravia, even today, is still very similar to like main rest of Czechia. They have like very slight differences, but they're both Czech, which is kind of weird that they're separated here.
time for cultural assimilation. But no, but the thing, Nathaniel, is that you don't start with like French culture as your rulers. Your rulers aren't French culture at the start. They speak French, but they don't have French culture. They have English culture. Um, I don't know if there's a way that you could become French retroactively as them. Maybe if you win, there will be a way that you can make Anglois culture because that would be really funny. Everyone wants to form Anglois culture and be cursed. Um, uh, Oh, I forgot about Eastphalian. Eastphalian culture is hilarious. Ah.
Where's Eastphalian?
You have
Oh
Westphalian,
yeah.
and then Eastphalian, which is just like the Brunswick culture, and not even all
What's
of
that?
Brunswick.
What's that little tiny like grayish culture in Sorbia?
Little
That
tiny-
something is German.
That is. Oh yeah, that is Silesian German. There's a lot of Silesian Germans around east of Saxony. They're spread into Bohemia a bit, Sorbians. And Silesia, all of these hash marks are Silesian German pops. So there's a lot of them.
I'm also surprised that the East is as Slavic as it is, or the East of Germany is still as Slavic as it is at this time period. But I don't, I don't have the degrees or the authority to say, well, this is inaccurate. It just kind of feels wrong. But that could just be my EU4 brain.
There's a lot of Palabians and Sorbians around still. Yeah. Good for them, I
If
guess.
I remember correctly, the Germans hadn't fully moved in yet. Like, sure, the areas were controlled by Germans, but they hadn't like settled the region. There were still a lot of Slavs there when they moved in.
There's also a lot of Germans in Transylvania. There's multiple locations that are majority German culture there.
What culture are they? Are they like
They're a
the
unique one.
unique one?
Yeah.
Can you go to that map and sidetrack this again?
Oh, what's that? Oh wait, I actually had that one open, didn't I? Carpathia. Yeah, I did have this one open already. What is this? Russia feedback. Great Britain and Ireland feedback. This is so old. Oh! Wait, no, this is language. Yeah. Dominant language, German. I was really confused. What the fuck? German culture? What? But, yeah.
Wait, Joffrey, go back. Dude, I
That
just
is
seen
way too much
Czech,
Hungarian.
Slovak.
That is a lot of Hungarian.
No, Joffrey, scroll down.
Czechoslovak.
Oh my god.
I mean, they're kind of the same in a little bit, if you like
But,
a little tiny bit.
yeah.
If
Here's
you really
the
squint
culture
your
of
eyes, I guess
Transylvania.
maybe.
The culture of Transylvania is just absolute hell.
Slavic languages are really weird because they are both very similar to the point that some of them could pretty much just be dialects, and like there's a point where some of them are just completely unmutually intelligible. Like Bulgarian is a really weird language because none of the other like Balkan languages can understand them as much.
Right.
But the other Balkan languages are all very similar when it comes to like Slavs. So anyway, Slavic languages are kind of a headache.
You've got Unreg in the stream chat, the like North Macedonia, North Macedonia's culture. It's all Bulgarian. It's
I mean,
literally
still is
all
in real life.
Bulgarians and Albanians. But yeah, as
You
for
can technically
Transylvania,
create it.
Transylvania is all just like you've got Transylvanian culture, a bunch of that, sure. Lots of Hungarians. You've got Ukrainians. You've got Transylvanian Germans. It's horrifying. Ah!
I kind of want to do a Zeekley kind of culture conversion because they seem like a interesting culture to play as if I can play as them,
The
like Kuman or something.
Zekle is that's secret Ukrainian. So
Aren't they? No, I think they're related to the Hungarians.
that's this culture used to be called Rusine, but they renamed it.
Why was it called Rusine?
Because it was like the local name for them. It was like the way
Why?
they it's the equivalent of like, I don't know, Polish Canadians being called Polacks, I guess.
You can't be saying the P word in this stream. You're gonna get censored by YouTube.
No. This is true, Unreg. It would be funny. Honestly, it would make it even more funny if they named the ones over here West Bulgarians. They should be called North Macedonian culture. What do you mean?
We should get back to the Dutch.
Okay. Otherwise, I'm gonna get distracted talking about Dalmatians
Yeah.
and the Greeks in Sicily.
Yeah.
You know, Dalmatians. Have you ever watched the movie The 101 Dalmatians?
No, but I watched.
That is even farther away from EU5.
I watched Air
No,
Buddies
for else
yesterday, though.
Don't get distracted.
Alright. So, oh wow, there's a grand total of 685 nobles in Holland. There's so many. Oh my goodness.
I got a little. I know a little bit of this already. You are going to have to side with the nobility or burgers. It is going to, and
Everyone knows the burgers are the true best ones here.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I mean, you should play as Frisia instead and choose. I love the pyramid. The pyramid is its symbol. Frisian freedom. It's the correct way to be. Peasants' power.
Joffrey.
Peasants' satisfaction. Noble power goes down. Oh yeah.
Did you think I'd ever decide to side with the peasants? I believe in the trickle-down economics. We help the people at the top, and the wealth will come down to the bottom. Putting the wealth in the poorest people will not have the wealth trickle up. That's just absurd.
This sounds like capitalist dwarf speak to me.
You see, Joffrey, the invisible hand of the free market tells us that if we sell and buy goods at a fair market price, everyone wins.
So-
ANCAP EU4 tag.
So are you
Or
saying you
E5.
support free subjects or serfdom, though?
I don't know. Okay, I will say serfdom is dumb. If people don't have the freedom to travel, they don't have the freedom to spend their money on items that will help drive the economy.
So free subjects, even though you support, you support the upper class, you still want the lower classes to have enough money to spend on random goods.
They need to have
them
money to
give all the
spend
money.
that will contribute to filling the coffers of the upper class.
Nemcraft is
I
being
just want
so
them to give their money
victory-pilled
to
right now.
I believe in gay luxury space communism.
Yes. Praise be the invisible hand. The invisible hand is our god, and Adam Smith is its prophet. We will need to make a dwarf, a capitalist dwarf Adam Smith for our mod. Yes.
Are the capitalist dwarves like ANCAPs?
We don't know. Honestly, all the
Make
the
them
whole point
Make
of
them
them.
a satirization of ANCAPs, please. Please, I'm begging.
Sure.
Please.
Here's
Sure.
the thing. Here's the thing.
They just
Joffrey
are a
wants the
corporatocracy.
idea to be. Here's the thing. Joffrey wants the idea to be that they developed capitalism like 500 years before people actually developed capitalism.
Yeah.
So the idea would not be the same as what we think of capitalism or what we think of how to explain this? They would not have the same idea of capitalism that we do because they don't have the inventions that we do or any of the other things. So we'd have to like change it in some way.
Wait, Brabant gets extra noble power? Wait, Nemcraft,
Brabant?
Brabant is you. Brabant is you. They get estate satisfaction up
no.
and noble's power
Like I
up,
said,
but free subjects.
here's the thing.
Joyous. Why is it called joyous entry? Like, joyous is such a
the,
weird
the
word.
document upheld freedoms for the churches, towns, and nobles, emphasizing consent for taxes and commitments to Brabant's indivisibility. See, taxation is not theft; it is reclamation of the righteous funds.
I think that we should bring Sorishan. Like Sorishan should come back, where we just select a random person into populace and they lead the entire country for 4 years. That is my belief. That is a great belief. And if you
Wait,
don't
this
believe
trading
it,
spirit sounds really good. Why
Trade
does Holland
range.
have okay?
It's
I like that a
it's
lot,
age 3
actually.
though. This is Age of Discovery. So actually, okay, I say that like it's a bad thing, but the Age of Discovery is when you want your trade range to be going up.
Yeah, I understand that Flanders has the nice cloth, but I'd rather get the trade range.
So Flanders
okay,
gets
scroll
that.
up.
So okay, Holland gets
Flanders
trading
gets
spirit
Holland.
and the sailors.
Yeah.
Then Flanders gets the cloth. I do really want the cloth. Yeah.
The cloth is good, but at the same time, I honestly think Holland is going to kind of be like Denmark, where you have a much harder start, but you're going to have a better like end result. You're going to have better bonuses. I could be proven wrong. If Flanders is easier, I'll just play Flanders if I want to do like a Holland game.
Flanders
Not the
starts
Holland
as a
game,
vassal
but
of France.
Yeah, that makes them a little easier to play, but at the same time, you have to invade into the HRE, which could be an issue.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to be like playing them. We need to sink our teeth into it, see how it actually works. Are they in? Because they're probably not in the HRE.
There
And-
was like there were places in like Burgundy that were both technically like both under French and HRE rule. So I don't think it's impossible, but I don't know.
Can't really see Flanders in this image. It's a shame.
You might be able to see it in the like this dev's diary. Or the new one.
I doubt they'll show us the actual terrain, but But yeah, as Nathaniel was saying, that yeah, theoretically you'll have just the incredibly good control over everything in the Low Countries because everything's so flat. Oh, but the cloth. Oh, you're talking about Flanders specifically. The cloth bonus. So the reason they get this. Oh, see you, aim. Good night. Bye bye. Uh, the the um the thing with the Flemish cloth is that historically the dynamic here was that the English had tons of wool, which they do. The English produced tons of wool, and then the Flemish would buy it, and then they would turn it into cloth and sell it back to the English. So what you theoretically would want to do as the Flemish is try and buy up as much wool as physically possible from everyone around you so that they can't turn it into cloth. So you basically force them to follow your supply chain, if that makes sense. But before they have a chance to build up their own industry, you just already make it. You make the stuff and sell it back to them so they don't even have like the opportunity to compete. And you produce so much, your industry will just be so much more profitable with both cloth and fine cloth. So I like that.
Honestly, I kind of want to just play Frisia. I feel like Frisia would be like a really unique kind of tall campaign for the Low Countries.
Definitely. You're one of the like two peasant republics on the map, so that's pretty different.
Does Diffmartion even exist?
They do, and they're a peasants republic.
Okay.
They haven't been for long though. It's pretty close. Like it only was pretty recent, I think, that before 1337, that the whole situation where they kicked out their lord, and then the church was like, "All right, you guys can just rule now."
That was kind of it's kind of a weird case in like European history where the church is kind of like, yeah, you can do whatever.
Continuing to see though that Nemcraft is gonna, yeah, Nemcraft will be the Brabant main. Tax efficiency goes up as well. This is just
Honestly,
The four quarters
I
of the
wanna-
four tiers of the four provinces in which the core of the Duchy of Brabant is divided. See, everything works in perfect synergy.
yeah, the trickle down economics of yep. Each courtier is formed by a satellite of big and smaller towns, some walled, others not. They all work in perfect synergy like a well-greased engine, filling our coffers with great riches. It's perfect.
Everything
I think-
works as it should.
Flanders might actually be. I think Flanders, with like how they're functioning, if you get close to England, break free from France, maybe be able to join the HRE,
Mm,
you could have a pretty good economy pretty early.
yeah.
So they're looking pretty attractive when it comes to that. But I want to see what Frisia has to offer because I feel like they have the best like kind of role play. You can like, oh, you're freeing the like lowlands or something.
What, you don't think you're going to want to be Utrecht with their amazing invite artist cost and religious
No.
influence? That's amazing, dude.
Unless they get like a really interesting reform like they do in EU4 where you can be like a theocracy trading republic. No.
Yeah. I mean, the artist cost will be nice for keeping your culture strong, but yeah.
It might
And
be
Frisia.
interesting
Oh!
for like a
Frisia gets pirate buffs.
let's go! Pirate Frisia!
In Age of Discovery, they get privateer maintenance, can hire privateers, and privateer durability go up. This is a tech.
I might actually this might actually be my favorite nation. That is too funny. A trading pirate republic that is also
Peasants?
a peasant republic.
Yep.
Peasant pirate trading republic.
There are stories of our lands about a pirate who is 7 feet high and strong as an ox that inspires many to go into the seas and do what our ancestors did best: loot unguarded coasts. You return to Frisian monkey. You go back to the fall of Rome, Frisia.
Conquer the entire Caribbean as Frisia. That would be insane.
Flanders was pretty
Also-
strong in the period. One thing that almost killed France in the Hundred Years' War was the French killing the leader of Flanders to flex on them and basically making them join England. Yeah, fair enough. Oh, there was a video somewhere. There was one of the first gameplay videos we saw was someone playing as Frisia. It was pretty good actually. Um, where they were very opportunistically choosing what they would do during different stages of the Hundred Years' War, and then eventually breaking free.
I think in the lowlands you want to ally England. England just seems like the better ally overall.
Most likely.
Like unless France has some really good kind of trade things, like oh you can like with like the wool synergy with Flanders. I don't
Nah,
really
because
see a
you
reason why.
yeah, because you want to buy because England's got all the sheep, so you want to buy their wool.
I
Unless
mean like
eventually you want
kind
to
of like
conquer them
that.
for their wool.
I mean like that, but like with a France trade good, like they send a good to you and you make it. Or something like that. If you can do that with France, I think they'd be a worthwhile ally. But they are just directly on your border. Uh, England isn't. You're probably only going to clash with England in the colonial era, and the AI apparently can't colonize for shit. So you're safe.
France has some decent wool in the south, but yeah, nowhere near as much as England. France is very
Yeah,
wine. They got lots of wine and wheat and stuff. Yeah. But their south in the
they
mountains is where
probably
they got their industry. That's where they got their iron and stone and tin and copper, lead even. Silk too. Yeah.
France feels like a stable country. You can probably get
Where's that up here?
isolated and still maintain yourself off of your own wheat and stuff.
Yeah, you don't really have. I don't think you have much that you would need to, as France, be like, oh, I need to buy this from some other market. Because you've got plenty of iron around here. There's even some spice dotted around. You got fruit, wine, silk. You got lots of iron. You got both tin and copper. Multiple sources of each. You even got some silver in one of your vassals, which is surprising, but it's true. So that'll help. Precious metals are pretty rare in Europe,
I
outside of
really think
um,
only
Bohemia.
thing holding back France is their vassals. Like if they can just get their vassals out, they'd be fine. They're going to be a pretty strong nation.
I
So
think
like
the problem with their
Burgundy and
vassals is not the fact that they exist, but where they are. If
yeah,
if I was playing France, I would still want vassals for a lot of the early game, but this is terrible. I would want my vassals to be like um the Occitan. I would want to like split up a couple Occitan cultures into vassals
yeah.
because you can't control that far south. But like Brittany, Normandy, all that I'd want to have under my direct control and then just leave the south to be vassals. But this is just disgusting and not efficient at
Like and
all.
you're going to have like random rogue duchies that are going to side with the English that are in the middle of your country, and you have to siege them down, and it's going to be a pain if you actually want to play France. I think France on like in the first bit of the game could be definitely on the back foot. They have
Netherlandish
to.
culture group. Picard balloon Westphalian?
What?
Westphalian?
And maybe like in
Oh,
before. Oh yeah, like
okay, I
before.
guess.
Like I guess in that time they would be a lot closer. Like you wouldn't have Germany that would control all of it. They just kind of have like small princes that like it's more of a smooth transition than like a one standardized German language or Dutch language that we have now. So if you go, so like it'd be more like it's more of a language continuum if you know what that is.
No, sorry, I do not.
It's like where it used to where languages they develop where on one side like imagine on like the west of the country, imagine California speaks like one version of English, and then on the like opposite side in like New York, it's completely unintelligible to someone who lives in California.
Yeah.
But they're technically in the middle, like in Idaho, not Idaho, or Kansas or something, they'd be able to understand each other because it'd be a middle dialect. It'd just be a continuum of all of the kind of versions of English, which is kind
Looking
of how most languages are.
looking at the
Sorry.
culture group map mode though that they're showing us here, it says that like most of these cultures, so like the Low Franconian, so Low Franconian, Frisian, and Westphalian are all of those are in both the Netherlandish and the German culture group. And then you've got Walloon, which, as you were guessing, is the most goof-tastic culture for heritages in the region because it is Netherlandish, French, and German. So fuck that.
I yeah,
Ugh.
it's like I think the culture groups in EU5 are just so much better. They are just
Yeah.
an objective improvement in every single way, shape, or form.
Yeah. It takes all the lessons that Victoria 3 learned about how to do culture groups better and adds them to this. I wish that they would do the same thing with religions though. I wish that religions would have religious traits.
Yeah,
But I don't think
I
they're gonna do
honestly
that.
want to make like a custom Protestant denomination. Would be amazing. It would be really fun LARP.
Didn't Japan have two completely different writing languages depending on if you lived in the cities or if you were rich? But I'll take it. Okay, so that to this day, that's technically true because a lot of the East Asian cultures, just and their languages to this day, it's basically, to put it bluntly, they basically use hieroglyphs because they use combinations of just words, more or less. That's a gross oversimplification, but each symbol means essentially a word, and as a result, there are many, 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 many different words. You can combine multiple of them to mean something, but literally no one knows what all of them are, which is just insane to me. But that's technically, yeah, like the concept that depending on whether you're high society educated in the cities, you'll use different ones. So yeah, there's people who are in the countryside who just won't understand what someone's writing if they're like a high society using these fancier words that you don't need to know, but you can convey the same message more efficiently. Weird shit. Weird shit. Kanji
Yeah.
is strange.
It happens with every single language. Like, if you go around like any kind of country, you're going to have like city dialects and rural dialects,
Mm-hmm.
and language is really interesting because before the internet, you would have times where if you were like you'd be in one country, but you would just not be able to understand somebody from the other end of your own country, which is kind of weird to think about now, considering we pretty much like with the internet, it doesn't happen nearly as much.
Yeah.
But
I mean, look
like,
at you and I.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I could speak like you could speak where you're from to somebody from England perfectly fine. If without the internet, I don't know if that'd be possible. Like eventually,
Yeah.
some time down the line, we're going to see like American, American actually be a language. As funny as that is, considering how some people think it is. I think English is American.
We speak American round here. Yeah.
Uh, and it's also it is in Canada is probably going to be more related to that than it is to like that English, and Australian is probably going to be its own language eventually. So it's kind of weird to think about, but yeah, all of the languages that we like English today is going to be like multiple different languages, like Romance languages given enough time, which is kind of weird to think about. Anyways, this has nothing to do with EU5.
Um, tangentially, it kind of. I mean, we're talking about culture groups and how, like,
Yeah.
co-
I mean, I just
co-
find it really, I find it really interesting though. Like if just how like cultures develop.
yeah,
But yeah,
that's always been something I've thought is very interesting as well. I think so many different aspects of history are very interesting, which is annoying because it means I never know enough to be the guy who knows the most about it in the room on the server, but it also means I can join a conversation about anything. And culture is one of those things. I find that stuff fascinating. Tolkien knew what he was cooking with when he made a lot of his world based on just moving of cultures. That stuff is cool.
Yeah, and like in the real world, you have so many just weird groups, like how like you had the Etruscans, which were like entirely that were non-Indo-European, which is basically like the big language group across all of Europe, and then they got assimilated into Rome. You have like Hungarian, Finnish, and Estonian that are completely unrelated as well, and they survived. They're not related
We
to
talked about the
Etruscans,
Bulgarians.
Bulgaria is still technically a Slavic language, but the Bulgars are Turkic,
Yeah.
which they kind of mixed with the Slavs living in the region, and they made their own language.
But to get back onto topic at least a little bit, I want to actually read
Yeah.
what the heck these polders do. Because you get a tech in the Age of Renaissance for polders. This is something I've been looking forward to because they've explained that people who are Dutch culture, that nebulously just their Dutch culture, are going to be able to build these things. And I was very excited about that because they said that there's something you can build in specifically like wetland areas, and that you just need to have the tech for it. So supposedly that means that you can be a Dutch colony someplace in like Louisiana and build up polders there, I think, is the idea. So yeah, Age of Renaissance, you get the polders tech, and yeah, 1,000 laborers. They're infrastructure building, and they can be upgraded. So the three blue arrows means you can have multiple. You can build multiple of it on the same tile. Curiously, and the effects of this are road building time goes down, pop cap goes up a little bit, food production goes up a little bit, and dev growth also goes up a little bit. Just makes the tile a little bit better, and these can be built in literally anything. This means it can be built in rural, towns, and cities. And you can upgrade it a lot. So this is a very nice building. Louisiana polders plus 2.5% crayfish production. Exactly. When are we going to see the crayfish resource? All it needs for upkeep is a little bit of tools and clay.
I want to make New Amsterdam succeed and have a real Dutch colony in the New World.
Definitely.
Or a Frisian colony.
Of course, yes, Frisian instead, superior. Though, sorry.
Frisian is the closest living language to English. Which is
that does make sense.
It is the same as not the same, but it's very similar to Old English if you listen to them.
Just I need to show you, if you didn't know already, the oh wait, okay, let's zoom in. The terrible raw materials map of North America.
Yeah. I don't want to get too much more sidetracked because I feel like that the amount of sidetracking we've done is probably drawn on to stream enough, and it says started streaming 2 hours ago, so I'm guessing it's going to hit free soonish enough. I know people need to go to bed.
It's been 2 hours and 18 minutes. Shit.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming around. I appreciate it. You're fun to talk to.
No, I'm gonna stay. I know some people in different time zones need to go to bed and don't want to drag the Europeans' time too much if they need to go to bed. I don't know. I'm sorry if I phrased it wrong, but
No. That, I mean, people do come and go as they please, though. That's not something I'm especially worried about. It's the people who know me know that this is how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I'll be probably staying until the end of the stream, I'll probably be staying until the end of the stream.
I doubt it'll be all that much longer. That's the famous last words. But
As long as we don't go on any other tangents, it shouldn't.
That's gonna happen. That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But in the Age of Reformation, you get the North Sea shipyards from Netherlandish shipbuilding. So this needs to be built in cities. It's a military building and it recruits 3,000 soldiers. That's quite a few dudes because this is mid-game. So shipbuilding capacity goes up. That's good. Extra ships can be built at a time. Monthly sailors 80 because again, this is mid-game stuff. We haven't seen as many numbers for mid-game like manpower and sailor requirements, but yeah. Doesn't have bad upkeep though. Naval supplies, tools, wood, and tar. Don't even remember how you make tar, but. And finally, Form Netherlands,
Let's go.
which allows possible advances. It's a tier 2 formable country, so you can that's not very big at all actually. That's just like duchy tier. You can form a lot of countries after that still. Huh.
Can you be German, Netherlandish Germans, or
You probably could form
Germany,
Germany, yeah, because you're a German heritage, so you could probably go you could be Flanders and form Netherlands and then form Germany. And then form Europa, but Or France, it's true. You could form France instead. That's a wild thing.
Okay, I feel like the France is it feels wronger.
Wait.
It feels more wrong.
No, you need to be the Walloons for it. Never mind. Flanders is just Flanders is German and Netherlandish. Walloons are French, Netherlandish, and German. The Picards are French and Netherlandish. So the Picards are the people you could form the Netherlands as and then form France. Walloons, you could do anything. You could do. So, yeah, apparently, I guess Luxembourg is just the most based country, and I do love the House of Luxembourg, so that means that, my love of the House Luxembourg is justified.
Luxembourg world conquest needed.
Yeah.
If you hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, you have to do it.
I'm-
promise.
I'm not even gonna hit 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year.
Yeah, that's the point. It's supposed to be a ridiculous bet. It's to the point that you will agree with it, and if it does miraculously happen, then you kind of have to, because if
True.
one miraculous thing happens, then multiple things miraculous have to happen.
The Tune of Fire. Dutch art. Possible number of artists. Possible number of artists goes up in artist monthly start chance. Mind you, that's still mid-game, so this isn't you taking advantage of art when it really counts at the beginning. But, that's still useful.
You might want to look at the chat.
Hot Pockets. Joffrey, if you hit 1K subs by the end of the year, you have to stop being involved. No! Wait! Wait! No!
We're gonna ship you off to Turkey and get a hair transplant.
The hair No, I refuse to get a hair transplant. I refuse to try that bullshit.
It's just some like middle-aged Turkish guy like replacing your scalp, and that is not comfortable.
Nathaniel, you say do 3 mountains achievement in EU5 if you get the subs. You say that? I've been like trying to do I've been playing in just on my own once in a while. What's it called? Ryukyu? Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, I've been playing it, and it's actually a really fun game for me. It's tough, but I actually really like it. Make this joke anytime I play in Anatolia. Now, god damn it! Well, how am I supposed to play the Knight's Hospitaller Day 1 in multiplayer then?
Turkish hair transplant. Joffrey real.
No.
That should be your first EU5 thumbnail. It's just some like that Turkish guy that has been floating around the internet, and it's Joffrey got a hair transplant, real, not clickbait. 2025. Uh, confirmed.
Nathaniel,
Please subscribe now.
Nathaniel, are you sure that Ryukyu was even in EU4 in version 1.0?
I think 1.0 is basically just EU3, but a little with some extra stuff.
Morocco was like
It is.
2 provinces.
Yeah. EU4 started a lot like EU3. If you ever if you know,
I didn't play
I've
it,
never played EU3.
but I did play
But I know-
EU4 right ever since Conquest of Paradise came out. I've been playing it, so
I've been watching it a lot longer than I've been playing it. I've only started playing EU4 not that long ago, all things considered. But I've been like watching it ever since I was like 9. Which is kind of odd, but I mean, I guess I'm technically an OG, if you mean watching YouTubers.
counts. I'd say that counts if you were in the community even back then from watching and stuff. Yeah, you're still involved.
I mean, I wasn't in the community because I was like too young, but
Yeah.
and I really shouldn't have been, even if I wanted to. So yeah, even kid me knew it was probably better to just stay out of it while I was that age.
Did EU3 really have pops? I don't remember hearing that. Doesn't sound right.
I'm pretty sure it was like how development used to work, where it was like set. It was more like predetermined. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but if I recall correctly, development, you just weren't able to change it at all in like earlier EU4 patches.
Yeah, there was no way to change development in EU4 at the beginning.
Which is kind of BS, considering that multiple cities were created during that time. And
it was the third DLC, Common Sense, where you could start doing that.
They kind of realized fast, but at the same time, why wasn't it in the first patch?
How wild is it that their first DLC was Conquest of Paradise? And then they're like, oh, okay, Art of War will be number 2. Will like actually allow you to like literally interact with the AI in any way. Yeah, that's interesting, Unreg, that it had a pop number but not culture percentage. Yeah, that makes sense. That's in that case, it's basically just like CK3, where you've got the development number go up, and it is just culture, religion.
If I had to speculate, I think that EU5 is going to probably be missing a couple of EU4 things. Like 100% missions. 100% people are going to be pissed about missions. But
some are and some aren't.
I think... I know... I'm just using that as a generalization. People in general... Some people will.
Yeah.
I know some people won't, but some people will be pissed.
I'm not sure how I feel about it, because me personally, we are getting sidetracked again, as said we would.
Yeah, Hoken COD Wars.
Yeah. I'll talk about the design philosophy that I want to do with my mod after it's been officially announced. Hopefully this weekend that happens.
Yeah. I mean, if you just wanna, for like that kind of announcement thing, if you want to record it or something, that could be useful, or you upload it as a video.
It's gonna be a video, yeah. I'm just waiting until I want to wait until after the team meetings happen to make sure that it's
You might also want to cut all of the unimportant things of the team meeting, like it's just try and get basically just cut it. This is not my channel, so I have no idea what he's going to do. But that is what I could probably speculate is going to happen. That would probably be what happens.
Uh, okay, I'm not. I don't. The team meeting is not going to like be recorded for it. No, I just want to do the meeting, and then after the meeting, I'll know what I should change about the plan for the
Yeah.
video. What should be said.
I didn't know if it was gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna upload this as like a master kind of YouTube thing where like, oh, I can look back on it later, or if it was like a what plan was it? Anyways, Hook and Cod Wars. Let's focus
Okay.
on that.
Okay. Before Eric is trying to distract me by talking about lobster people too, so this is bad. Emergency.
Cod Wars.
Cod Wars. Yeah, narrative content. There's the Hook and Cod Wars. You support the hooks or the cods, which is funny. I think they did that in the mod. There's the mod that also took place relatively near now for EU4. I played it. I don't remember what it's called. It's the thing where they try to make the game really, really complicated and it's really confusing.
Mayo and Taxes.
Mayo and Texas, yeah, I played that, and the Hook and
Yeah.
Cod Wars are in that, I think. And they, yeah. So it's a succession crisis, yeah. And I think it's what causes you to become a PU of Burgundy, but that's not relevant here because Burgundy ain't shit in this game, and it's not really going to rise.
I kind of hope they do, honestly. Burgundy is an interesting country.
I think they've said that there just isn't going to be any content for them. Maybe they'll change their minds later, but at least as of now, I don't think
Gotta
there's any
add
content for them.
They're gonna do it in a DLC, 100%.
I'd pay for
One
it.
of the things.
I'd pay for it.
If it ain't in the base game, they're going to make a DLC of it, and eventually, like 5 years down the line, we're going to be 5 years older, and they're going to make us charge our 5 years older selves more money to improve the countries that were in the game in the base. So, yeah, if that made any sense at all, then you deserve a gold medal.
The Hook and Cod Wars. Yeah, it can happen if you're
Yeah.
not the United Netherlands. The Netherlands aren't formed.
And I did.
If the not the United Netherlands, it's different. It's different. The Netherlands has been formed. That yeah, it'll happen unless the Netherlands is formed. The Hook and Cod Wars, yes. Its initial effects are quite dynamic and complex. It depends on both a succession crisis and some of the effects and variables may vary depending on. Please note. Gets triggered for console here. Okay. Okay. So you choose hooks or the cods. The Burgess has managed to earn the loyalty of the nobility as a rightful successor to the throne. This group of nobles has founded the Hook faction to defend their position against the Hook. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it is screwed up. Okay, so you side with the Hooks. You lose stability, side with the Hooks, so you gain bonuses if their favored faction wins the conflict while receiving even worse penalties if the enemy faction does. So there's an influence score. Jesus. So the Hooks are the nobles faction, and then the cods are the burghers, I suppose. Every own location, which is either urban or at least 20% of its population is burghers, gains 15% pop satisfaction, while up to 4 locations, which is neither a town nor a city, less than 20%. Yeah. And lose huge burghers satisfaction and join the cod faction rebels. So this is a rural versus urban conflict in some sense then.
Based people side with the cod. The cods are based.
Cods. Yeah, because the cods are the burghers. Every location which is neither urban and has less than 20% of its population burghers gains 15% pop satisfaction. And 4 locations, which are either a town or a city, and have big.
As far as I can
burghers
tell,
get unhappy.
you have you have much more of an incentive to just side with the burghers and the nobility, considering just how your country is structured.
If you're playing Holland, I mean Brabant, you probably side with the nobles if this was them, but this is for Holland specifically.
Yeah, Brabant. Yeah, Brabant. I'd probably side with the nobles. Anybody else, God, like Brabant is just one kind of weird
Yeah.
exception because they have a lot of nobility stuff, but I think everybody else is going to be much more burger heavy.
Oh, the crown power though. That's gonna
Oh,
suck. Cause you
isn't I've
because you really want to get up your crown power if you're playing as the Low Countries because you're gonna depend on trade income so much.
I don't remember what crown power does.
Okay,
Interestingly enough.
a lot of things is very good. Crown power, among other things, it has a direct correlation on how much money you earn from trades that you skim off the top of the burgers that actually because the burgers carry out the trades. It's basically tariffs. You get more money from the burger pops based on that. Um, so you really want that because fun fact, as a country like this, yeah, you're going to be doing a ton of trading, so you need that high to get that money money, so that you can then spend it to build them more stuff and then make even more money for the burgers for you to skim even more money off of them. Yeah. And the other thing it does, arguably even more important, is it has a direct correlation to how powerful your cabinet actions are. The higher your crown power, the more powerful your cabinet actions will be, which affects everything from increasing cultural or religious conversions to integrating newly conquered territory to just increasing your stability or legitimacy or getting extra diplomatic stuff. Tons of stuff can be done with your cabinet, and making it stronger or weaker is a huge impact on your game.
If you're really good at the video game, you might be able to form Netherlands early and just avoid a lot of this, but I think you're going to be in the HRE, aggressive expansion, or, I mean, antagonism, death pit, and as far as I know, you don't get kicked out as the Netherlands in this game, but it will still be you're still gonna need to conquer a lot of high dev territory very fast to avoid it.
Yes. That we don't know specifically when the Hook and Cod wars happen, so we don't know, how difficult it would be to accomplish uniting the Netherlands beforehand. Maybe it's feasible
If it
as Holland.
if it happens too early, no way. Maybe like later. If it happens later on, like 14, like before, like later 1300s, early 1400s, you might be able to form Netherlands before then, if you're really good at the game, or really good at managing antagonism.
Why do I keep getting bots friend requesting me? Oh my god. So many
Just
right
turn
now.
friend request. Just only to put it on to friends of friends or whatever.
Generalist says if you go below 25% crown power or something, you get a malice that basically doom spirals into your destruction. No. I'll have to see that then.
That ain't
Oh.
that ain't no good.
No, it's not good. I haven't seen the numbers though, but yeah, I'll trust his opinion on it then. He knows what he's talking about. So, Hook faction,
So
Cod faction.
this might actually be good for Netherlands forming, because if you end up in a coalition, you might be able to like get Brabant on another side and take that opportunity to conquer some land from them. If it's like something where you can side with the countries, which it looks like it is, and like a direct war, but it could just be I don't know. The EU5 scenarios are all
Oh,
very different.
yeah, because this here, the PS underneath. If the disaster had been triggered organically, you'd see here at least two claimant countries, one backing each faction. So you'd have different countries nearby, which historically you had Burgundy. I'm pretty sure is the way it worked. Is that Burgundy historically won out in this war?
I think it'd be interesting because it'd obviously be the Hooks that win with Burgundy to get the Cods to win, just for a little bit of alternate history. But
I mean, if Burgundy won this, then that would be a case of Burgundy, who is still a vassal of France, then getting a personal union with the Netherlands. And then the Netherlands, like, Holland is probably stronger than Burgundy is right now. So I don't know. Huh.
I think Burgundy, for the first little bit of EU5, is probably just going to be a generic French vassal
Yeah.
that sometimes does well if the England sides with them or they piggyback off of England. I think they're only going to add like actual content to them later.
Well, actually, Burgundy's pretty large.
Okay, we're getting stunlocked again.
Wait, don't look at the other map. Don't look at that. Event, yeah, 20% chance of an event relating to the disaster. Can happen each month. Disobedient of Dordrecht. Dordrecht. The cities of Holland see our current situation to slip away from the control of either side. The town of Dordrecht, in particular, has shown disobedience. While this undermines the current state's legitimacy, this defiance of paying taxes to the hooks also comes in handy to us. By granting the town additional autonomy, we can expand our advantage. Oh, so just lose a ton of control in that place, but it also gains you point of influence. Yeah, so you pick and choose these events and when you want to gain more influence, if it's worth the cost.
If you only pick the most optimal one, you're probably going to be spending a while in the disaster, so it might actually be worth it to take the hit with like, oh, lose that control, so you can just end the disaster earlier for the cards or the hooks.
I would definitely take that, yeah. I would take the 33% control loss because that's not permanent. That's just it drops control now and then control will go back up to the equilibrium over time.
Yeah.
And Nobility Rebellion. Gods have assembled a rebellion force in order to combat the hooks. Yeah, so welcome reinforcements to our cause. Burghers get more unhappy, and the gods gain more influence. Now see some events that are for the Netherlands itself. That's an interesting Dutch flag. That has a lot of stripes. Huh. Okay.
Is that like two Dutch, like regular Dutch flags stacked on top of each other?
It kind of is, ain't it? Yeah. It's two Dutch flags stacked on top of each other, plus another orange stripe at the bottom. Weird. The 5 Netherlands admiralties can rule. Lands are ruled by a count. Oh God. You united Netherlands and you're still a county? Oh geez. Not even a duchy? Woof. Oh.
I think it's like some HRE stuff. I hope you can become a kingdom or a duchy at the very least.
Every flavor thing they show makes you go, oh look, it's the X thing they have in Anbanar, but better? Really? What? I don't know what you'd be referring to, but I mean, it's a good sign that you think that EU5 looks really good, because yeah, I mean, Anbanar is kind of the standard for EU4, so it's just the best EU4 has right now, and probably ever will, because it's EU4's done its diff cycle. Starting construction. Yeah. Friesland Admiralty. So you build these admiralties, unify them into one. Oh, so you could theoretically either get a bunch of these different admiralty buildings, or make a single big one. Don't know what this would all the bigger one would do, but yeah, you get this unique admiralty things. So that's and they're considered government buildings, which is interesting. They give you extra sailors and can build ships there. It's not huge. Oh, they need to be built in towns and cities, yeah. Some admiralties under construction. Yeah, so you see them being built. They have unique icons for each of them. That's interesting. Huh. Freedom of the Seas. Didn't finish it. So it's a book. Yeah, it's a Mare Liberum. Yeah, so just some characters, and you get to let them make their historic art. Father of microbiology. Antonius van Leeuwenhoek. Okay. I don't speak Dutch. Wonder when this happens. Yeesh. I mean, they have in the game already many things that Anbanar has to make a lot of background work held together with hopes and dreams to make work, all while costing performance. This is true. This is true. They just there's a lot of that sort of thing that is just in here already. With the situations in international organizations are the biggest example of things that just they just have that. Like it just works now, functionality wise. They don't need to like force the Raj into existence with hopes and dreams and tons of UI work. Glorious plot. Yum is the rightful ruler of the Netherlands' public image. I don't know. I don't know what this event is in reference to, but okay. Glorious plot. Huh. But yeah, that's the end of this one too. And this one took ages somehow to do, even because we kept getting sidetracked, even though it was the much shorter of the two. Jeez. Oh boy. I'm not looking at the comments of that one. That will take even longer. Oh! 2 hours and 40 minutes of Tinto Yaps. That's gonna be it for me. I need to go and like paint my map or something. Look at the Raj. It makes my heart hurt that they made the entire system to create the Raj because you can't make more than one HRE-like system. Yeah. And then in EU5 you're able to have HREs within the HRE.
I just left for like a tiny bit, so if it didn't respond to anything, that's why.
Yes, I was wondering. Yes.
I did not get abducted somewhere else. Don't worry.
I did finish it. We finished the Dutch thing now. Somehow it took so much longer, but yay. 2 hours and 45 minutes. That's that's quite possibly a new record for longest Tinto Yap. Oh dear.
That's my fault. Oops. Sorry.
No, I do it to myself. You were trying to keep me in line and did a better job of it than most do. I'm gonna be honest. So.
Demcraft was the one that was keeping you in line the most. So I'm gonna be honest.
Well, whatever. But with that, I'll be ending the stream here and going to paint my map more, I think. So, thank you all for watching. And thank you, RCM, for joining. I hope to see you all next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye from me.
Bye from RCM too. Bye.